Yeah, and then you started messing with your lighting.
Well, okay. Well, are we live? So I can
Yeah,
talk
we're
about
live.
this.
We're super live.
Okay, so disclaimer. I'm using the new Microsoft Edge.
Why?
It's great.
Idiot. Stop the podcast.
No,
Restart like this.
Hold on.
Restart.
Hear me out. Okay. It's open source. They used open source Chrome to model the browser.
They used Chromium.
Yeah.
Who cares? It sucks.
It doesn't though. It doesn't use as much resources
Jen
as
says
Chrome.
it's good.
It's good.
I don't need a third browser up though.
I only use 2 browsers, and I personally don't like Chrome that much. I use Firefox. And I was like, man, it'd be nice to have a different browser that wasn't Chrome. And then the new Microsoft Edge came out, and I was like, I don't want to hear that noise. That's stupid. It's Microsoft. It's Microsoft. They don't make good stuff. I mean, look at the Xbox.
I mean, they do make some good
And
stuff,
then
like
Look at the
operating system.
We're a Sony only podcast.
That's definitely not true.
Look, I have to take shots where I can, okay? No. And so I was like, okay, well, I need to go ahead and just try it. I mean, it's not gonna hurt to try it. So I did, and I freaking love it, man. I'm a fan.
Why are we orange stream health on YouTube, but green stream health on Twitch?
Because YouTube has been having problems, dog.
I guess so.
YouTube's they've been up to something. I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you. Quite frankly, I don't know if I should tell you. But they're up to something, and they need to get it figured out, man. Because this is...
you have an insider scoop?
No, I'm just acting like I do, so I sound relevant.
Oh,
Let me guess. You updated your Windows 10, and it popped up with the Microsoft Edge crap,
and re-added it back to your taskbar.
Yeah, and my desktop.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Enough said.
It opened and he was like, I'll use it. It's already open. It takes more work to close it.
It opened immediately when I started my computer, and I was like, cool, I don't care. And it tried to walk me through it. I was like, I still don't care.
Yep.
I had to click like 4 different screens before I could exit out of the browser.
Yes, it was very annoying.
I feel like you both need to just take a second, okay? Take a deep breath. And give it another try.
This episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast sponsored by Microsoft.
No. First of all, no. No.
We're actually with this video. This video is provided by Microsoft Teams.
Microsoft Teams is the worst. I've done an interview on Microsoft Teams and I hated it.
Yeah.
It was awful.
This podcast off to a great start. I'm already having fun.
That's how it's supposed to be, man. Living the dream.
Yeah.
You just gotta have a good time,
With that said, hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
Hey babes, my name's Andrew.
And I'm Pokey Dad.
And we got some stuff to talk about this week.
But you thought I forgot about that nickname.
Just a quick, I kind of want to start doing like a quick overview of stuff we have coming up. That way, if somebody doesn't have the time to stay for the whole thing, they know where to come back in the VOD.
That is not a bad idea. You should do it.
That's a terrible idea.
Start it
go ahead.
right now.
Obviously, we have our weeks. We all have different things there. But we have a couple of game announcements, including a Settlers of Catan game announcement that we'll get into in a little bit that Kat let me know about. We have some games that got delayed, some games that have been unlaunched, and then some interesting decisions made by Sony when it comes to reviews for The Last of Us 2, as well as the loss of Mixer. So, we have a lot of things to talk about there.
The loss of Mixer, yeah. Pat, you want to speak on that?
We'll get there. We got a news topic on it. First off, though,
Pettis tore up by him and his Microsoft shill self.
First, I didn't even think about that. You're so right.
I will
Oh.
never support anything again and let y'all know about it. I just want you to know.
First
Never
off,
again.
says the Polka Daddy. First off, I want to start this podcast off with kind of a serious note, which is that it's not going to be in the news topic. We're not going to have a whole big thing about it. But there have been multiple cases, proven cases of sexual assault by YouTubers, Twitch streamers, people in the games development side. And I just want to say, first off, no, don't do that. It's the easiest thing in the world to not do that. Don't do that. And the second one is just very simple. Don't harbor people that do that. Don't if you know that somebody on your team is doing that, don't hide it. Don't cover it up. It's your job. I get it. You're gonna lose your job. I get it. Don't harbor it because they're just gonna keep doing it. And so I want to take a hard shell stance here and say if we ever hire somebody and we find out they do that, they're fired. That's how it works. You don't do that, especially not with underage fans. The big one, of course, being Cry that came out, and then Mike Z of Skullgirls and Lab Zero just, don't do that stuff. Don't. It's very easy not to do it. I actually wound up talking to a couple of the victims that I didn't expect to be talking to them at all when I made some tweets about all this and got some DMs. And don't do it.
It's so surprising how easy it is to just be a good person.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You have to put in effort to be a bad person. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Like you literally have to want to,
Yeah.
and you have to try. That's literally how that works. You don't just do that and it's just willy-nilly easy every day.
Yeah.
Like it's so easy to be a good person. Why are you putting in the extra effort? Be lazy.
Yeah, please.
Be lazy.
And if how do I word this? I want to make sure I word this the right way. If you or someone you know is suffering from it, reach out. It doesn't have to be to me. It doesn't have to be to any one of us, but reach out to somebody. Because there are so many in this entire scene, this whole community of video games that have been through it as well and will be there for you. Anyway, now we can have fun and have a good time. I didn't mean to bring the mood down, but I felt like we needed to say something.
Oh, shit.
And it's despicable, and it's not okay.
Here, I know what'll bring the mood around. Everybody loves this noise. You ready for this, boys? Ready for this?
I'm very concerned how this is going to go. That's a good noise. That's a good noise.
You're welcome.
So, with that in mind, let's get into weeks. Andrew, how's your 1 hour week been?
Well, especially because it's been 2 weeks for me.
Yeah.
You would think I would have so much to talk about.
Andrew's week on the docket is like 9 things long, but I feel like he's about to delete a bunch of them.
No. It's gonna be quick though. The last one, first of all, the last one's only on there as a reminder for me.
Okay.
So that one's next. Chainsaw Man's only on there as a reminder if we wanted to ever talk about it again. And Gunpla is, I just bought more Gunpla, but I don't want to go get it. It's too far away.
You put it
Follow
on
me
your Twitter.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter if you want to see it.
Yeah, at Walrus Nostril. Oh, Pat, I got to fix yours.
Thanks, dog.
And even though it's been 2 weeks, I haven't had a lot of time to do anything. I've played a lot of games, but like in short spurts. Yeah, Gunpla. Oh, come on, join the Gunpla revolution. And while you're at it,
is that like the Nintendo Revolution?
Yes, it's exactly like it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Revolution was the Wii, right?
Yeah. No, that was No, that was GameCube. Revolution was the Wii. Yes.
Okay. It's just like that then. If you were gonna say it was a GameCube, I'd say, well, you're way off base. But if it's just like the Wii, then yeah.
We need to have a build party.
Build party.
Got that.
I have one Gunpla.
You
Still
should
in the
build it.
box.
You should build it. We'll have a build party. It'll be great.
I'm down for that, especially after some news that I reveal later.
Okay.
Sorry, I am responding in chat because band really freaked me out there.
Oh boy.
Oh snap! We got
to stop
Yeah,
trying to kill Adri.
Machete Eddie in the chat, everyone.
The man, the myth, the
I'm in
legend.
your house stealing your combos.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of creepy.
Uh,
I always unplug my mic when I'm not using it. So
what if Band is your wife?
Bum bum bum. I bet you were wondering where that $500 went.
Wait a second.
Oh,
He's just like, oh, Ben just donated $500. It's so cool. Gets an alert on his phone. Wait a minute. I just lost $500.
that's fine. It's fine. You and Band can be married. Joel and I are getting married apparently, so it's fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you can marry yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I could see on Trey's face he was very confused for a second.
Yeah, I was like, what? I mean, Joel and I are very similar, so
No, I'm saying that you could be the person that marries
yes,
you.
I
and
got
Joel.
what you were saying. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It took me a second, but I got there.
My brain doesn't work like the average person.
It simply started as for political reasons, but over time it became something else. I'm a good one.
Hey, no judging.
Oh man.
Hey, how do you make a thread on Twitter? Do you just respond to your own tweet?
Yeah. And if you want to make a hashtag where people can mute it or where they can find it later, you can. You can just make them up. I do it all the time. It's great.
I'm gonna make a hashtag Andy's Gunpla.
Yeah, there you go. My most recent one for my extremely vivid dreams is Dreamin' Don't Give It Up Trey, which is a One Piece reference. Hashtag Dreamin' Don't Give It Up. That's not true. Take that back. You know what does suck though? Super Mario Odyssey.
All right. And how's your week been, Andrew?
One of these weeks I'm going to come back,
I am too, Andrew.
and on the docket, it's just under my week. It's just going to say Super Mario Odyssey, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
You've
going
gone
to
back,
spend
done it
an hour. I'm going to spend an hour just talking about all the moons, everything I collected.
Well, thank you, Machete Eddie. Thank you.
What did Machete Eddie do?
I said that he loves my voice and how beautiful it is.
No, he didn't say that. No one's ever said that.
That's true.
That's not true. I've heard someone tell him that in person.
Yeah, you're right.
This is why my week takes so long.
It does. It's
Look,
with
you
constant
started this
derails.
You started this mess.
We derail so much.
Andrew just was like, yeah, y'all derail, but he starts to derail himself.
That's true.
It's like I just throw a little something out there and just see what sticks. Okay, all right, guys. Everyone talk about it for the next hour.
He's a master fisherman. He knows exactly which bait to use to lead the fish astray.
Yeah, just come on, right here.
He's like that dude from the commercial with the fishing pole and a dollar bill. He's like,
yep.
You're almost there. You gotta get it.
Anyways, though. Deep Rock Galactic.
Rockin' Stone.
Rockin' Stone. Stone. Yeah, I've said it every week since the game came out, but still playing some of that when I get a chance for some goodness. I still haven't unlocked Hazard level 5, but I'm hoping I'm hoping I'll have more time this week to play and I'll unlock it, and then try some of that madness out.
Yeah.
But then Gunpla, I already talked about that. See, that's gone. I think I'm gonna dive back into the real grade Exio finally.
Yeah.
I think the SDs have whetted my appetite.
Yeah.
To where I'm like, ooh, okay, I want something more flavorful, a little juicy steak, medium rare. That's what a real grade is to me.
Sure.
You can't do it all the time, you know.
Yeah,
It's
no,
too
it
much.
takes way too long if you just try to sit down and do it all at once.
Yeah, but every now and then you get a little. You want a little taste. So I'll probably do that, and of course I'll post about it on Twitter. Now that I'm active on Twitter, which seemingly came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what happened there. You just were suddenly like, yeah, I'll talk to people now.
Well, I explained what happened. I got on. I went on Twitter. I was like, hey, let me just check my Twitter and see what's going on. You know, I finally checked it, and I had like all these notifications of people like adding me, or talking about me, or talking to me, and I was like, oh, people have been wanting to communicate with me, and I've just been ignoring it. So
As Kat says, we were aggressively friendly until we scared him into participating.
yeah, exactly. So now I'm all in on Twitter.
Another victory for
Post-
bullying.
Post never victory for bullying. It works, man. Look,
Yeah, it seems
Look.
to.
I was a bully. I was a bully in elementary school, and I'm sure those guys turned out great. So what if one of them, when I was in high school,
This could go somewhere bad.
messaged Courtney? We went to different schools at this time. Messaged Courtney and was like, "Do you know what kind of man you're with? He's a bad guy." Does my camera look blurry?
I think it's just the quality.
Has it dipped? Do I need a new camera?
The quality definitely has dipped. I think I have that extra somewhere in here. I think I have another of these. Yeah,
Huh.
that could be just be a Discord thing too. Dorito grease. Is that a thing?
Hold on.
Dorito grease? You mean like Dorito dust? What is Dorito? Hold on. What is Dorito grease?
You don't know what Dorito grease is?
I'm assuming it's like Cheetle, which is the name for Cheetos powder that's left on your fingertips.
Dorito grease is when the Dorito dust evolves.
Joke on you. I don't eat Doritos.
Oh no!
True.
Oh no, Cap!
Yeah.
Dorito grease is the Doritos brand.
Oh boy.
The lube for gamers.
Comes in 3-4. We need to move on.
Spice it up
There's
in
also-
the bedroom with
there's-
nacho cheese
Yeah.
flavor.
Nacho cheese, Cool Ranch, and a special Mountain Dew sponsored Mountain Dew and Doritos flavor.
I didn't notice it before, but for sure your camera is blurrier than it was before. So I think it's time to replace your camera.
Yeah, I can see it now. Do I look clear and everything else around me is blurry?
Like
No, the whole thing.
the
It
whole
looks
thing's
smudged.
blurry. Yeah,
It looks like there's a smudge. Get you a little cloth, a little
I
wipey
don't have a
wipe.
cloth.
Turn the camera off and use your shirt, or leave the camera on and use your shirt. Whatever fits your
I
fancy.
think I found the next phrase to mute in the chat, and I think it'll be "sexy cool ranch cowboy."
What?
That's the Cool Ranch Cowboy.
That
Yeehaw.
definitely helped, Andrew. That helped a whole lot, actually.
That's perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
You
All
back.
right,
you're
that's
you're
good.
back, dog.
I am back.
All that Dorito grease on the lids. Like the spot of the lids they didn't clean in the loss of pasture.
Oh my gosh, that movie. We have to rewatch that movie just so Andrew can.
Yeah, we need
experience it.
to. We need to.
No.
Yes, you need to. I convinced my roommate to watch it. And the next morning I was like, "Hey man, you watched that movie?" He was like, "Yeah, that was the worst movie I've ever seen."
Cool Ranch Cowboys and Nacho Cheese Samurai. Oh man. Yeah, remember when we were talking about how we derail in Andrew's week?
Yeah. It's not my fault. always. But did I talk about Desperados 3 last week? I don't
You
remember.
did, yeah. Well, not last
weren't
week,
here
but the
last
week
week.
before week.
Oh, the week before last week. Yeah.
Ah, two cheap
So
birdies.
I haven't gotten much farther because I haven't had the time, and when I do have the time, I want something that's kind of mindlessly fun, like Deep Rock Galactic. But that game is hard, man.
Yeah.
Chad is just running away with it.
I can't look at chat. I'm contained
Chad's
right
just
now.
running away with it. Anyways, just keep looking away, Trey. Just keep looking away.
God can't help you now.
You're not the only one who answered the call of God. I'm sorry. Please continue, Andrew. I gotta turn this fan on. Turn it up.
Yeah, I had to turn my. I was just turning my head down. That's why I'm looking down. Flaming Hot Doritos lube. You're gonna give yourself a chemical burn down there.
Oh man! Don't talk. There's a lawsuit currently with Twitch. Don't. Have you guys heard about that?
I have not.
Talk about.
I don't know if I
derails.
want to.
There's a guy who is attempting to sue Twitch because he cannot stop pleasuring himself to all of the Twitch streamers. It's very clearly a troll.
I haven't gotten in trouble for anything.
It's very clearly a troll, but yeah, giving himself a painful rash and shorted out a monitor.
Wow. I don't believe it. Anyway, Desperados 3
You brought this on yourself, Chet.
is very difficult. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's like a little. You gotta be stealthy and everything, but you can also run and gun. It's just way harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't play much more of that. I am gonna play more of it, hopefully, before next week. I think I'll have time this week. Now that some family emergencies have been somewhat taken care of.
Yeah.
I played Ninjala.
Okay, I didn't get to play this.
So it's that
Free to
it's
play,
the free-to-play Switch game.
battle royale ish.
They're calling it Battle Royale, even though it's just a deathmatch game.
Yeah.
Just a deathmatch mode. So yeah, good way to jump on that bandwagon.
No, for sure.
But it's got an art style.
We're going to talk about another company that jumped on a bandwagon later on, too.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Oh, we got Pokemon Unite coming up.
Yeah, a little too late for that. Yeah. But Ninjala,
Yeah.
like everything else that I'm talking about, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with. But what time I did spend with it, I wasn't a big fan of. I mean, the combat does have layers. You run around and you whack stuff, and you can shoot bubblegum at people. But you're mainly just whacking stuff.
Yeah.
With your bat type thing. So maybe I unlock other deeper mechanics later. But right now it just seems like, okay, load up in a match with 8 people or 7 other people. And just hit each other until people die.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep playing it a little bit, see if I can come around on it, but it's just. And I don't know if it's because the art style and some of the mechanic, like some of like the shop and stuff like that, is similar to Splatoon. So maybe I was expecting more
Sure.
from it because I love Splatoon.
Yeah.
And like the different guns they're all the difference in the world. They all control differently and everything. I mean, it's great. But Bucket is the way to go. Yes. Oh. Man, I want to play some Splatoon now.
We should.
We
Do
should.
you remember how much of a pain it was to try and talk while we played Splatoon without using Discord? Because we had to use their stupid app.
Stupid app.
I had my phone on my shoulder and I was laid back like this so I could talk because the app refused to work through my Bluetooth earbuds. Roller is pretty good. Roller's pretty good.
Yeah, Courtney's a roller main.
I'm a bucket man.
I'm a bucket main all the way.
Bucket man.
Yeah, I moved on to other games as well, but there's like something. There's a little magic to Splatoon.
We should put together a Splatoon night or like a Smash night. We'd already talked about a Smash night, but we should also do a Splatoon night.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I would be more down with a Splatoon night than a Smash night.
I don't know. I'm gonna talk about it in my week. I got to play a little bit with Min-Man. Pretty fun.
I'm done with the podcast.
It's pretty fun.
I also don't have any of the new characters. I don't even have all of the base characters unlocked.
Oh, we got to fix that. We can do that. You just grind out a bunch of matches. You and me, 1v1s. Let's go.
That's what I was doing. I would just beat somebody. I think it was one stock or whatever.
I'll practice some Terry on you.
No.
Power wave. Rising tackle.
But, I'll shoot a musket ball at a cannonball or whatever.
Track shoot. Bone knuckle. I can literally do this all night. You need to keep going so you'll interrupt me.
My brother just logged on to Battle.net.
He's going to play some Heroes of the Storm.
Is he playing WoW again?
You know what would make me play any of those games? If any one of those games added Terry Bogard to them. Unironically.
What if Splatoon did?
Oh! Instead of the bucket, you could just Buster Wolf stuff. Buster Wolf!
What if there was an expansion pack to World of Warcraft that was all... It's King of Fighters,
King of Fighters, yeah.
It's all King of Fighters. It completely breaks all of the lore, but it builds its own story based around King of Fighters.
I'm in. I'm in 100%. I will level all the way back up. If I can look, all I'm saying is you let me infinite Rimpiaku, and I'm there. I'm with you. Give me Goose Howard and let me just Terry with an eye patch. My heart.
Terry with an eye patch. He loses an eye in the first cutscene of the expansion pack.
And then he never cares about it. He's just always like, come on. Are you okay?
I can't even deal with your... I
think, like, people don't understand when I like geek out and nerd out about Tokusatsu or Gundam or anything like that. I'm reserved compared to how I am when I talk about Terry Bogard. I have one great love in life, and it's Terry Bogard.
Well, I thought you were going to marry Joel, though. He doesn't count.
Look, Joel is real, and Terry Bogard isn't. And I can make Joel wear Terry's hat. We should move on. This is going to go weird. This is going to go weird. We should move on.
Now we're getting into it. Now get into your true emotions.
I did make a joke about us being the same, but does Joel also love Terry? That's true. But Terry's my one true love. All I'm saying is... Go ahead.
I just want Deckard Cain to be my grandfather.
Look, Deckard's great. Deckard, really cool guy, did some great stuff. But Terry Bogard raised his worst enemy's son. That's all I'm saying.
If Deckard Cain was my grandfather, he'd tell the best stories.
That's true.
Well, he'd still tell the best stories without him being your grandfather.
Yeah, but I would be guaranteed those stories.
He has those same stories.
But I'd be guaranteed those stories.
Imagine you line up. There's a whole line of people, and Deckard goes, "Not right now. Right now, I'm telling a story to my grandchildren. Stay in
Yeah.
line and wait."
There you go.
Tell you a lot.
That's good, Joel. You should be doing One Piece attacks while you run. That is the right choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Andrew, please continue your week.
Anyways, what I spent the most time with, and by most time I mean maybe a couple hours with, was The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay. What'd you think?
So far,
No spoilers,
I
Chad.
like. Yeah, no, I'm not. I won't spoil anything either. I should let the man speak. I like it. Technically, it's very impressive.
Yes.
I just got in. Let's just tell you how early I am. If anybody else has played it, I just got into where I'm fighting human enemies,
Okay.
and it's very difficult because the aiming seems like dog crap.
Yeah. I have watched the game through 3 times now, so that when I have thoughts about it at Game of the Year, it will not just be, well, I didn't like it. I will actually be able to make points. And one of the things that I noticed right away is that it takes a little while for everybody to get a hang of the shooting. It definitely seems a little bit more sluggish isn't the right word, but it seems more sticky maybe than the original game.
Yeah, and it makes it worse because the enemy AI is really good so far. My experience is very good.
Yeah.
And they do a great job of flanking, and they all wear dark brown and greens and grays and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to see them through this grimy world. And so they'll flank you, and I'll just hear on your left, and then I get shot. And I try to turn and aim, and it just doesn't feel right.
You said on your left, and the first image I got of like behind Ellie was a bunch of other Sony video game characters coming out of portals. Oh man.
But don't put that on there, Pat.
I have a cool story.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Keep talking, damn it.
I think there's a lot of cool things on there. Like, for example, if I get shot and I fall to the ground, I can still immediately aim at somebody while I'm laying down on the ground.
Yeah.
Which that's cool. I like how kind of like visceral the combat is with like beating somebody to death with a pipe or stabbing them in the throat and they're bleeding out. And if you shoot, I shot a guy in the throat and it left a hole and he started doing this and blood was shooting out. That's cool. I like it. It adds a little bit to it of like, oh man, this is just, I kind of feel like crap.
Sure.
But I hope I enjoy the story. I'm not sure that I will.
I think those first 2 hours give you a very clear understanding of how they plan to tell the story.
Yeah.
And I don't like how they tell the story at all. I don't think it's a bad story. I think it's really poorly told. There are moments that hit really hard. And my hope is that you enjoy those moments a lot.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think they told it very well, personally.
One thing that I just remember this because I haven't touched it. I played a little bit today to get kind of back into it. But like I said, maybe like 20, 30 minutes. One thing I hated and don't tell me if it's a recurring theme or not.
Okay.
But I hit a section early on in the game. You hit a section where it's like semi open world, like an open arena, and I want to just experience the story because that's what I loved about The Last of Us 1.
Yeah.
And I keep coming across this stuff, and it's like, oh, hey, we should check this out. And then you mark it on the map, and I feel like, oh, well, I have to check it out because what if there's good supplies there?
Right.
And so that immediately bummed me out because I was like, this is not what made The Last of Us 1 great. It didn't have that in it. It was great. I mean, that's like, I forget where I ranked it, but it was number 1 or number 2 of my top 25.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm very mixed on it right now.
Yeah.
But
like I said, I won't spoil anything for you. No spoilers from the chat either, but I hope that you like it. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I hope that one of us is able to talk well of it at Game of the Year, because I can tell you it won't be me.
And Pat won't play it.
I have a YouTuber that I watch that is playing through it, or has already played through it. Considered watching his playthrough. I may do that.
I always hate that. My little brother does that. He watches through it. And he doesn't just make like a one game exception. Like he watches, if it's a single player game, he says that he feels like it's not worth it to buy. So he just watches through every single player game he's interested in.
I think this one is an exception in that it's so story focused.
Yeah.
That I think I'm one of those people that says you should play any game that you're interested in, right? But I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna play it. I've watched the story 3 times through. I'm good.
Yeah, see, I'm not interested in playing the game mainly because I haven't played the first one, and I know I'm not gonna play it. So it's kind of like I just want to know at least something, so that way when y'all talk about it, at the beginning of next year or the end of this year, whenever we end up recording it, that I'll know something, because I don't like it whenever we're sitting there and I just don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. I unironically agree with Chad. I think this game would be better if it was a movie.
Yeah, and there are some scenes that are shot. You can tell that the way they're shot are heavily inspired by movies, and I'm really into the scene, and then it cuts to me playing it, and I'm like, oh well, okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't pick up a controller like, hell yeah,
right.
I get to finally play. I'm like, oh okay, I have to play to the next cutscene.
In a weird way, and this comparison is going to keep happening with these games. I think Death Stranding works because it's not a movie. I think if that was a movie, it wouldn't matter, right? Yeah. That nothing in there would hit. I mean, the stuff that hits, but it wouldn't hit the same way that it does because it's a game. It's built on that tedium, right? That's what makes the satisfaction so important. And I think that Last of Us 2 instead is built very much on its themes. And so the gameplay doesn't really matter to the themes at all. In the same way that I think like Lara Croft, the newer Tomb Raider games, are that way.
Yeah.
The themes of the game don't affect the themes of the story at all. Like the gameplay doesn't mess with the story at all. And so I think that it, works both ways.
Yeah, and to Pat, I would say don't watch a playthrough of this game before you play through the first game.
Oh, for sure. No, yeah.
Like, don't do that.
No.
Well, that's the thing.
The first game is amazing, and it tells a great story and has a great ending. I feel like it ended in a way that there's no need for a part 2. Honestly, it told the story, and that was it.
Yeah.
And the only reason I bought part 2 was just because it's one of my favorite games of all time. So okay, I guess I'll play the sequel.
Well, and another great example is Evans Remains, a game that is currently my game of the year. I love that game to death. I think the story of that game is incredible, but it didn't have to be a game to tell that story. Like that story is not tied into the fact that it's a game,
Yeah.
That in fact, in a lot of ways, the gameplay and the story are separate from each other completely. I could read a book that had that story and be just as touched by it,
Yeah.
I'm personally unsure if I'm gonna play the first one or not.
I think the first one's one of the best games ever made. Not because of the gameplay, but because it's tied in so well. That game
Yeah.
is a perfect. It's the perfect example of what we're talking about the gameplay tying into the story. You are put in Joel's shoes. You get to feel what he's feeling, and you are very much that person watching, like, as the everything else happens in the story. Whereas in Last of Us Part 2, I don't feel like that's necessarily true.
Yeah. Well, it's just from the section that I'm in. It seems like it like I feel like the first game didn't have this problem, but in Last of Us Part 2, it's like there's an arena
Hmm.
and you kill the enemies.
Yeah.
And then more enemies come. And it's like it's trying to force you to play it more, but like if I killed those 3 guys and it was really just grimy and visceral and gross, then it could help tell the story.
Hmm.
But if I go kill 15 guys in the same tiny area, it's sort of just like, okay, well, I'm just playing a shooter, and this is not a good shooter.
100%. It's like, not to spoil too much of Gears of War. Do you remember towards the end of Gears of War 2, I think it was, where you go into the hive?
Yeah.
Up until that point, up until that moment, the game had not done a good job at all of tying the gameplay into the narrative. It was just each. You had cutscenes, and then you had combat, and it was go into a new room, go to the knee-high walls, sit down at them, and kill everything. But when you get into the hive, the game goes, okay, you're going to go on one side, and your partner's going to go on the other. And they're going to get in trouble, and you're going to have to save them, and you're going to get in trouble, and they're going to have to save you, but you can't get to each other, so you can't pick each other up. This is the most tense part of this game, and you have to do it in one go. And in that moment, the gameplay told the story as well, because you're feeling what Dom and Marcus are feeling as they're both stuck on different halves of this ravine, trying to cover for each other while moving forward to be able to plant this bomb. And like Kat said in chat, that's the thing about video games. You can tie it together and make it matter. Decisions in games should matter.
Yeah. And I feel like I said, I've only played maybe 2 or 3 hours of The Last of Us Part 2, but I feel like it doesn't. It's not so far. It's not tying it in really, tying it all together with the game.
I won't spoil anything for you, but
yeah.
I'm
I got
not
a
playing
feeling
it.
it's gonna be the whole. I got a feeling it's gonna be like that the whole way through. And I saw a tweet. I almost said I saw a tweet on Twitter. Well, yeah, that's where you see tweets. But I saw a tweet that somebody said, you know, having the enemies yell out random names like Mark does not have the effect that you think like that they thought it would.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're leaning in on like, you're killing all these people. Look at her. She's just murdering them and it's terrible. And I'm just like, yeah, but the shooting's not.
Yeah.
Really fine.
Give me the option to not kill them, and then maybe that'll mean something to me.
Yeah, because you start off you're killing the infected, and you got to be stealth. Well, you don't got to be stealthy. I messed up big. I messed up big in one section.
Look, as I've seen 3 playthroughs of that game, that is absolutely a problem. Of like towards the end, like they went, oh, we need to add more enemies to this area, and went, oh, we can't bring VO back in though, so
just drag a bunch of marks in there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're killing the infected, and I kept saying, I said it to Courtney, and I was like, I just can't wait till I'm fighting real humans. It'll be more difficult because I remember the AI in the first game being really good at flanking you and everything. Okay, it's be really more difficult. And then I got to that section, and I was like, I don't think I like this at all. But I don't know. Here, I'm hoping I'll come around on it.
Yeah.
Because if I don't come around on it, it'll be probably my most disappointing game ever.
I haven't put it on the docket for that simply because you haven't played it yet, and you may come walking away different. And if I'm disappointed on it, Pat's ambivalent, and you're positive on it, I don't think we should put it on there. But
if we're both disappointed,
it's got to
it's
go
going on
there.
there. Yeah, it's going on.
And that'll probably become the most disliked video we have, too.
Yep. What do you mean you didn't like it?
Oh.
I can see the comments now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Just
when
like
Red Dead didn't win Game of the Year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. The vast majority of comments on there were, what do you mean you're mad that Red Dead won? You didn't even play it. How do you know? And it's like, well, we did. We all tried it. We all didn't like it.
I'm sorry, but if I put 4 hours into a game and I have no desire to play it anymore,
Yeah, that's a
it's not
problem.
a good game. It's not a good game, especially when the game is 28 hours long.
Oh, it's way longer than that. I
I got
live streamed
4.
the entire thing.
I got 4, and after I accidentally stabbed a lady with a knife in the game, I was like, "Yep,
Oh, Pat,
No.
don't get me back on the controls. There's a 50-minute
not
long
doing it.
review of me complaining about the problems with that game's controls.
that game is garbage. I don't care what anyone says. It's
I
awful. It had
wonder
good
why-
I like
acting.
the story. I like the
It had
story.
good
I
acting.
really like the story up until a certain point. But I don't like everything else about it.
I want to like Red Dead Redemption 2 so much. I even probably weekly I have a thought of, man, I should play that game again because it's a nice little Western world and everything. And then I think, oh, but
Yeah.
the way it controls.
I go back to the moment where I almost quit the game entirely, which is when I was streaming the game, and you get to a mission where you have to bust a guy out of jail. I'm trying not to spoil anything. And chat was like, hey, you're going to get a bounty after this mission. Try not to kill too many people. And I was like, perfect. I just won't kill anyone. And we spent 40 minutes on that mission where I didn't kill anyone. And after the bounty, or after the mission, I got a $4,000 bounty for murder for 152 people.
Yep.
And I didn't kill anybody. Because the game required you to, storyline-wise, have killed people in that mission. So the guys that I punched just died, I guess. I didn't punch 152 of them either.
Yeah, I hated that mission as well. And then why are you gonna introduce me to a new city and then lock me out of the city?
Yep.
Biggest problem I had with the game, outside of accidentally stabbing somebody because it's the same button as talking to someone for some
Yep.
reason,
Um,
is I'm in the safe area, which is your little camp, and I'm on my horse, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go to this next mission." Right as I leave, the moment that horse and my body cross
my
that
God.
line,
oh my,
enemies
oh
spawn,
my God.
headshot me instantly.
Patrick,
Instantly.
Patrick,
That should not be a thing.
Patrick, the horse AI, like they touted how good the horse AI was, right?
Awful.
If you set that horse to auto run, it will auto run off cliffs to its death.
Awful. That game is garbage.
Hey, but
Garbage.
guys,
Garbage.
It's got a good
hold
story.
on.
though.
The horses have testicles.
Yeah, you know, it turns out there's this thing in video games called crunch. I don't know if you guys know about it or not. It turns out developers will make their employees spend incredible amounts of time on things that don't matter, and then they don't have the time to focus on the things that do.
So, all Red Dead Redemption 2 proved to me is that we live in a
Like
society.
family, yes.
We live in a society where if something is hyped up enough, people will do everything in their power, troll or not,
To defend
to
it.
support
Yeah.
that and defend that thing.
Yep. 100%.
And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be something terrible. But if enough people are like, "Hey man, this thing," then it becomes a thing. And
I think-
people will overlook the whole world as long as that thing is successful.
We need to get back to Andrew's week, but I think like there's a thing like with identity where you identify with stuff that you really enjoyed. And so when other people don't like them, you just immediately get angry because, well, no, I liked that thing. And if you don't like that thing that I like, then it makes me think that you think I'm stupid. And so that can't happen. I got to tell you how wrong you are. And it's like there are things in Red Dead 2 that I think are great. The shandification of the world is amazing. I think Arthur Morgan is one of the best protagonists in all of video games. The like actor that portrayed Arthur Morgan did an amazing job. There are times where I will still walk around and just go, sure, in the way Arthur Morgan would, because it's great. The soup physics and the way food is eaten in that game it's incredible. But that game is not perfect. And to pretend that it is just because you liked one thing about it is disingenuous. Yes, I remember the water glitch where the water was above the ground and was floating and then left. And we stood in an empty creek bed and then the water came back. Yeah, the soup physics were really good.
I will share my Red Dead quitting story as well.
Okay.
I'll join you on this one. I overheard some talk, and I found out that this shop was doing illegal activity in the back.
Oh, I forgot all about that shop.
So I was like, I'm gonna rob them. I'm gonna get out of there. It's gonna be slick. It's gonna be awesome. I hold up the guy. I knock him out. Once the door opens, I what is it? What is it called? Deadeye or whatever? What is it called?
Deadeye.
Deadeye. I kill all the guys really quickly. Boom! My stars blow up. There's a back door to the building that makes a whole big deal about how you can only unlock it from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
You can't unlock it. Makes sense to run when the sheriff's department is right across the street. It makes sense to run out the back door. I parked my horse back there so I could get away. No, you have to. They wanted to make this set piece moment, even though it was a side activity, where you walk out the front and oh my God, they're all lined up because they are. They're lined up waiting for you.
Yep.
And then not only that, I restarted so many times to try to figure out how to do it the right way. I even stealth killed the guys. I threw knives at them. Silently killed them. Bam, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're having this, damn it, you are having this set piece moment that we made for you. And not only that, I tried to camp out in the room to kill them as they come in.
They spawn forever.
And then run out. And then I try to run out and I trip over like a chair that's just slightly pushed back. I trip over it and fall face first to the ground, and then they come in and shoot me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is a crap game.
You got to play by their rules. You can't play by yours.
Exactly.
The game has so much potential.
Yeah.
And I would have been happier if they had literally just grabbed that old game of Red Dead Redemption 1 and just slapped a new coat of paint on it. I would have been happier because that game had problems too, but they weren't such major problems that the game was unplayable. And this game has many moments that make us all three and ended up making us quit. And they were all completely different moments. And that's how you know that that's a problem. Like, you can't just be like, well, it's Grand Theft Auto in the Old West, so you have to like it. It's like, no. Just because something is cool as far as like its idea, or because like the older version of the game was good, doesn't mean this is going to be good.
I agree.
What'd you put on stream, Trey?
Blaster Bread too.
Yeah, I got a feel I'm gonna come away with some similar feelings, unfortunately.
Yeah. So is that your week, or you got anything else?
I did just want to say this upcoming week, if everything is going smoothly, if everything with the past couple weeks is okay, I will be I'll be building Gunpla, so check out my Twitter. I'll be doing that. And then also, I'm hoping that if I do have the time that I normally have, I will be able to finally watch Princess Mononoke and Howl's Moving Castle.
Nice.
I will finally be able to get around to doing that. It's bummed me out not being able to watch the movies. But, and then I'm also hoping to watch some more My Life, Next Life as a Villainess. I'm going to get back into watching more instead of squeezing in 20-minute time chunks of playing the game.
Yeah.
Watching more content, and then also getting back into reading more Dr. Stone.
Nice. Before we
But
move
that's
into
it.
Pat's week, I have just one last thing I wanted to bring up about Red Dead 2. Uh, does one of the things that I hate most in video games, where your final upgrade of an ability is categorically worse than the previous ones, and you don't
Yep.
have a choice whether to upgrade into it or not. The last Deadeye upgrade removes the auto paint target of the Deadeye. So, like, the first one is auto lock on, which is great.
Yeah.
The second one is auto paint, so you lose your auto lock on right away, and you get the ability to paint a bunch of different targets. The final upgrade removes the ability to paint targets and instead lets you shoot multiple times in Deadeye. And I would have preferred to just keep the painting targets.
Yeah.
Like, it's way better to just be able to slide past a guy and it go doot 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 than it is to have to go, okay, manually aim, doot, manually aim. Because I can do that without Deadeye.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway,
That
Pat,
sucks.
how's your week?
I want to point out the longer we've talked, Pat has just been adding more stuff.
Oh,
to
yeah,
this.
no, I saw. My week's still
I've had
pretty
time to
short.
think. I've had time to think. My life went from the average, normal, boring, depressing life that I live to a very crazy life. Within a very short period of time, I got a new job.
Congrats, man.
Yeah. Congrats.
Thanks, guys.
Need to run for a second.
You're good. With that, I have to move. So next weekend I will be moving. I don't know if I'll be on the podcast next week. I'm gonna try to be, but I need as much time as possible to pack because I still don't know how I'm gonna get everything home. But well, to my, new home. Basically, I'm moving back home to where I used to live, not in the same house, but I'm moving back to my hometown. Gonna be helping, my grandmother and being close to my grandparents again, my family, my parents and my little brother, my cousin, and my aunt and uncle. So it'll be nice to kind of be close to family again. Being so far away is difficult because when things happen, I can't just drop everything and go.
Yeah.
So next week is going to be more hectic than this week. So if for some reason I can't be on the podcast next week, I'll make sure everybody knows ahead of time. So don't worry. And it's gonna happen anyways, dog.
Sharif is driving.
You're right. Whenever I can't drive anymore, Sharif is taking the wheel because I'll need a break. But be that as it may, up until yesterday when I found out everything, I had an interesting week. Played Pokemon Cafe.
I have words
Okay,
about
so what's
Cafe
this?
Mix.
Pokemon Cafe is a casual puzzle game, basically.
I have words about this as well, but please continue.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great.
I think it's hot garbage for one reason.
What reason is
You
that?
can't play it docked. I can't record footage.
I haven't played it on the Switch.
I tried to record an episode of it today on the Switch, and it goes, use the touchscreen to play this game. So I was like,
Yeah.
hello and welcome to another exciting, whatever. And it turned off my Pro Controller
Mm-hmm.
so that the only option I had was to pull the Switch out of the dock and hit OK, and then I could turn the Pro Controller back on, and it still wouldn't let me play.
Yeah, it's a touch game. It's a touch-based game.
It's a mobile game that they also put on the Switch.
Yeah,
Don't put it on the Switch. That's where I'm at.
I agree. I agree. Or at least allow you to play with like one of the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
And like, But either way, I'm playing it on mobile.
That's super fair, Cat. That's super fair. I'm assuming they get footage by using a Type-C to HDMI converter, which I could do, but it looks pretty garbo because it doesn't output in docked Switch resolution. It outputs in handheld Switch resolution. Also, I started using the phrase garbo, and I don't know why, and I don't like it.
But I am a fan of the game to an extent. I can't play it for very long periods of time, but whenever I need to kill time, it's kind of fun to, solve the little puzzle. There's been a couple of them that I couldn't accomplish in the amount of turns. I had to retry a couple times. I love the art style. I think the art style is fantastic. I love the way the food looks. Food is adorable. Do I think it's a game everyone should download and play? No. But if you want something to just kill time quickly and you like seeing cute Pokemon, it might be worth downloading. And by the sound of it, you should download it on your phone and not your Switch. So yeah, there's that. Say what?
I wonder if that's how the game we're going to talk about in a little bit is like too.
Oh, I bet it is. I didn't even think about that. I bet it is.
I bet you can play that docked. I bet you can. We'll talk about it.
Pat,
we played Dead by Daylight.
Before you move on, Kat had a question. Have the microtransactions been especially in your face, or can you mostly play the game without them?
You can totally play it without them. I haven't even noticed the microtransactions.
It's good.
It even tells you this is cool. I think games should do this. The game tells you every time you load it, and it's like basically a message for kids, and it's like, hey, you don't need to spend money to play this game. You don't. You don't beg your parents for money. Like,
That's
you can play
really
this
cool.
game without money. And I think that's a big deal because we live in a world where kids are constantly asking their parents for money for games because that's how these game companies are, getting all of their income. They're making all these crazy microtransactions.
Yeah.
I have not even noticed that there's microtransactions at all. And I don't even know what you get out of it. I really don't. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I haven't looked, but I haven't needed to. And I guarantee you it's probably just more power-ups, which I don't even use the power-ups. I don't. I like playing the puzzles without them. But I see that they're there for a reason, and sometimes they have been helpful. When I can, I choose not to use them.
Yeah.
Does it have an energy system where you have to wait? Okay.
You play all day long.
Cool.
The only thing as far as like progression, you have to solve so many puzzles and then you'll get another recipe. And that next recipe will come with a new decoration, bringing more Pokemon to your cafe.
When you get the new recipe, does a character show up and go, I've got it. I've thought up a new recipe.
No, why? No, Trey. Why are you putting these expectations out here when you know
because
that's not
Final
happening?
Fantasy 15 does that. That's all I'm saying.
This is Pokemon.
Well,
He does
look,
have a point.
if Ignis can do it, so can everybody else.
Okay. No, what the lady, I can't remember her name, the lady that works at the restaurant. She goes, yeah, there
That's
you go.
definitely true.
The lady will go, your dishes have been doing swell or whatever she says with Pokemon. So I got you this new thing to, add another dish to the menu. And then you see the new item show up in the shop. And then you see the recipe that you are allowed to make, because the very next Pokemon that comes in wants that dish. And then another thing is, like, as Pokemon come in and they start working for you because you've become friends with them, they have bonuses for different types of dishes. So, for example, Charmander, I believe, is better at making drinks.
Yeah.
So any dishes that are drink related, Charmander is better at making those dishes.
Why? Why is he good at making drinks? They will literally murder him if he's not careful.
I'm assuming it's because he's boiling the water, like using his fire to boil
water.
The water
will kill him.
Look, I don't know, Trey.
I would think he'd be like a stone oven pizza kind of guy.
Like, his tail is right there.
Just don't make it that. Don't get that in depth. It's a children's game, okay?
So is the original where it says he can't get wet.
Anyways, I'm probably wrong. Anyways, it's probably he might not even be drinks. I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Just spit.
Is there Squirtle?
Huh?
Is there Squirtle?
I haven't seen Squirtle yet. Also haven't seen Bulbasaur. The first Pokemon you get though is Charmander, and then you start picking up other Pokemon from there. So I don't know what all Pokemon are in the game. Oh, you get Eevee actually first, Eevee, and then Charmander.
Get that shit out of here.
I like Eevee.
I also like Eevee.
Overrated.
That's not.
I
true.
disagree.
You know who's overrated?
Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur for sure. Also Charmander. Both of them are overrated.
I think
actually.
Eevee is absolutely a better mascot for the series than Pikachu, 100%. Because Eevee actually, like, not first off, is the evolution Pokemon, which Pokemon has a lot of evolution, but also Pikachu is just another one of the electric rat Pokemon. There has not been another Eevee. No other Pokemon can do what Eevee does.
That's fair.
I still. So my issue with Eevee,
Except for
and I'm probably gonna offend somebody in chat with this one, but I knew people growing up who were obsessed with Eevee. Every person I've ever met who doesn't just like Eevee, but is obsessed with Eevee, is the most insufferable person. And it's like the cat girl people. It's like this. It's those people that are into Eevee that much.
So, I want to throw out to the comment that Pikachu is the original rat Pokemon. Yes, and they devalued him by continuing to make more electric rat Pokemon when they could have made other rat Pokemon that weren't electric rats.
Yeah, they already had one.
Yeah.
Look,
that's why I said Pikachu for most overrated.
She didn't choose the Eevee life. The Eevee life chose her.
Yeah,
okay?
that's it.
Be Furlough.
Psyduck should be the series mascot. That'd be awesome.
Psyduck.
Yeah. Or like they gave Alolan Raichu, give Pikachu a different weird thing. They had a third Pikachu evolution lined up and just didn't use it. Bring it back. Get it? What was it called? Garchu or something like that? Bring it back. Let me have a Kaiju Pikachu. Kaichu. Kaichu. There you go.
There you go.
Gorochu. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Pat, how's your week?
The game, like I said, I think the game is worth playing if you just want a quick, entertaining game.
Peekaboo, yep.
That has Pokemon in it. We played Dead by Daylight.
We sure did.
Played that for the first time. That was a lot of fun. That game is pretty scary, and now I actually want to watch scary movies.
Oh, nice.
I never had interest in scary movies because I always thought that they were ridiculous. The reason I thought they were ridiculous is because most of them have a very basic plot, and a lot of the stuff doesn't make sense to me.
That's the
However,
point, though.
Just move.
Well,
just move.
It sounds.
Why? Hold on. No.
No, that's
Why?
the point.
Why would you stay in the house? Just move.
Because
you
they're
know
terrifying.
Here's the problem. Here's the biggest problem. You're not thinking of horror movies. You're thinking of slasher movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Slasher movies are meant to just be brain dead. Like, oh, look at this idiot. Look at them. Look, they ran right outside, right in front of them.
The teenagers. What do you think they're going to try and do over there?
Those movies make me laugh. I legit laugh at those movies.
Slashers are supposed to be dumb, and they're great.
This might also, speaking of offending people, this might offend people. I saw Children of the Corn.
Okay.
I saw that movie. That movie is bad. That movie is bad. It's objectively bad.
I think you're coming at it from the wrong perspective, but sure, it's supposed to be like that.
Bad?
Yeah, that's the point.
Oh. Okay, well the movie's bad. It's just the whole time I was watching it, I was like, what's actually going on here? Because this is dumb.
I'll put it this way, Pat. Have you seen the original It?
No, I don't mess with clowns.
Okay.
No.
Well,
that's one thing in life that I will not.
And I won't reference the clown. But in that movie, there is a moment where a little boy gets pulled through a grate bodily when he is bigger than the grate that he is pulled through. You're not supposed to think about that part because the point of it is supposed to be ridiculous, over the top, crazy, gory, nuts. That's what it's supposed to be. And so when you try to look at it would be like if you looked at Velocipaster and tried to say, well, that doesn't make sense. It's like, well, no, of course it doesn't. It wasn't trying to make sense. Like,
Maybe.
I believe fully in the idea that you can look at a movie and say objectively this is a good or bad horror movie based on the criteria of what is a horror movie. And that's the difference between a horror movie and a horror movie in the way that we look at them now, which is they're silly and they're great and they're wonderful.
Yeah,
See,
but there are a lot of really good horror movies out there.
Like, I want to watch Nightmare on Elm Street because I heard that that's really good.
Yeah, it is really good, but it is still that. There's a moment in Nightmare on Elm Street where a guy has like 45 tons of blood eject from his body.
Well, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. No, I'm saying, like, whenever, like, for example, there's always that movie where, like for example, the Paranormal Activity movies.
Sure.
Those are awful.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think those are bad at trying to be those movies too. I think they try to be something different and fail miserably at it. I think Alien is a great horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah, Alien is sci-fi horror. It is for sure a horror movie. It is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I guess the best way to clarify what I'm really meaning too is jump scares are not scary.
No, they never are.
They're forcing you to react to something.
Yes,
and I hate that.
I've seen some movies that have some good jump scares.
Sure, yeah, there are some that do it well, but I think as a whole,
generally it's just terrible.
Yeah,
I don't feel like that's fair to say that you're scaring me unless the movie has scared me because of a certain thing, and so, like, make me believe that this is happening. And I'm in. Like, but if you're just jump scaring me the whole movie, it's not scary.
Pat, I think the difference here is that horror movies aren't supposed to scare you. That's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to entertain you.
Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I go into these movies thinking I'm supposed to be terrified.
No.
And the whole time I'm just like, this is a joke. Like, this is not scary.
When you see Jason and he's standing there and the music sting comes up and he's got the machete out, you're not scared because he can't touch you. He's just in the movie. But you're entertained because, oh, he's about to get somebody. And that's why I think people attach to these horror movie icons like Jason or Freddy or Ghostface or any of these. And it's why they're so successful in Dead by Daylight, as we bring up. They're not intended to scare you. It's an intention of you get to watch this killer go on a rampage to these stupid teenagers that are really stupid.
Ghostface is the hero to me in those movies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm rooting for Ghostface.
I'm rooting for Jason most of the time when I'm watching, except for in the first one. In the first one, I'm 100% rooting for, what's his name? The British guy. What's his name?
It's been a long time.
What's his name?
What's wrong with Scream? What do you mean don't get you started on it? I want to get you started on it.
See, I guess I want to watch a movie and it made me scared of things.
It is supposed to be a parody.
And it's
so it falls apart at the end.
And I guess that's why I prefer scary games, because it's more immersive, which makes sense. But like scary movies, I like movies about things that are realistically possible, because then it makes me scared. Like, that's
you don't
what I
want
want.
Slasher movies then, because those are not realistic. People teleport in those movies.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I need to go into those movies with a different outlook, and maybe I'll enjoy them. Because there was a movie called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Yeah.
Which was basically about spoilers, I guess, if you really care that much. It was about these like tooth fairy beings that were like super tiny.
Yeah.
And they'd go in and they'd rip people's teeth out while they were asleep if they lived in that house. Feed the teeth to a monster that lived in the basement or something.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, just move. Just move. You know there's a problem, so just move.
Yeah.
And the whole movie is just jump scares. It's just jump scares of the little tooth fairies jumping out and then they have the suspenseful music, and they're like freaking out because this thing's attacking them, and the whole time I'm like, this is dumb. Like,
So I think I can throw this to you in a way that might make sense. Dead Space 1 is mostly jump scares. But it works because it's not a jump scare to the character that then transfers to you. It's a jump scare to you because you are the character.
no, yeah, and that's why I'm saying
Mm.
it's immersive. Like
Yes,
that game makes
100%.
you feel like you're in it, and that
Yeah.
scary games do it for me. That's exactly what I want. Like
Yeah.
I don't. A lot of people don't like Outlast, but Outlast to me was terrifying.
Sure,
I
it
loved
was.
it. It was immersive, and I loved it. There was things about it I didn't like, but I love it as a horror game. I think that game is fantastic when you consider it as a horror game. The
Yeah,
gameplay, there were some problems.
Insidious, Aaron, is one of those where they do actually just move out of the way, and it's not good enough. But I agree with Pat. In a lot of those movies, the solution is really simple. But that's supposed to be the point, you know? And I agree with
But
Jim.
they're just too
what you
stupid.
want is suspense movies if you want something that'll actually spook you. There are
Okay,
some
I need to watch
Well,
those.
very spooky movies out there.
The kind of movies that always freak me out are like home invasion movies,
Mm.
like The Strangers.
Yeah.
Where like you feel safe in your home.
Yeah.
And then like I'm a paranoid person.
Me too.
And it just shatters the expectation of, oh, I'm at home, I'm safe, because realistically speaking, this is not going to happen.
Right.
But in my mind, at any moment, someone could kick in my front door upstairs, and come into my house and shoot me.
Right.
It could happen. Realistically, it's not going to happen,
Right.
but it could.
Us and Get Out are both great movies. Yeah.
I have not seen that yet.
Maybe maybe I'm watching the wrong movies.
I think
Like
it's not. I think you're watching the wrong movie for what you're looking for, and then you're watching the other movies for the wrong reason. If that makes sense.
Yeah, because like when I was a kid and Paranormal Activity was a big thing, like those movies had just started coming out and stuff, and everyone was like, "Bro, you gotta watch this movie. It's so scary." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Sure, I'll watch it." I watched Paranormal Activity, the first one, at midnight. I started it at midnight. All the lights off in my living room at my parents' house. And I'm sitting there with a bowl of popcorn, super hype. Get to the end of the movie, and I'm literally just mad. Like, this movie is garbage.
Yeah.
But it's, again, I think you're right. I think it's because I was watching it for the wrong reason. I was watching it expecting to be scared, and instead I should have been watching it to watch dumb people.
Yeah.
Because I would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, Paranormal Activity is not a scary movie in any way, shape, or form to me. Yeah, if you want some real like creepy thriller, you need to read the works of Junji Ito. Because Junji Ito, Joel, don't look. I'm gonna grab my copy of Uzumaki and I'm gonna show you a single panel. Everybody, Joel, don't look. I'm serious. I'm gonna show a panel Uzumaki.
So while you do that, I'm gonna make a statement. So with Dead Space,
because I don't have my headphones on, but we're like an hour and a half in, and we haven't even got to buy weed.
You're fine. So Dead Space, I feel like there's a great thing that Dead Space does where they start you off and it's immersed. I haven't completed the game yet. I'm still gonna complete it. If you really want to watch me finish that game, I will record me finishing the game, and it can go on the channel at some point. That's totally fine. But up to the point where I'm at in that game, because of how immersive it feels, those jump scares at the beginning are residual, because then you start looking for that, so that way you don't get scared of it anymore. So the jump scares at first were like, oh, these are stupid jump scares, but they scared me enough because of how the world is, that I'm sitting here like, hopefully there's one right here, there's gonna be one here, there's gonna be one here, and when there's not one, I get terrified, because then it's like, where is this enemy gonna be, because it's gonna kill me.
See,
and
the Dead Space jump scares stopped working on me for one reason, and it's because they're always accompanied by a violin. And so as soon as I hear that violin, it's like, well, all right, there's a jump scare here.
Yeah,
I'm going to show this panel. This one individual panel doesn't actually have like anything super scary on it, but that is the buildup. That is what Junji Ito does. He gives you the scene, and you slowly build it up to the reveal. And then, do you want to see the panel?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Okay, everybody, just heads up. This is a content warning. Junji Ito.
Oh man, that's a cool panel.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is
Junji
a
Ito.
cool panel.
I will tell you when I finish this, the one of the chapters in here messed me up pretty bad, and I had trouble sleeping for about a week. He's got another work that is really, really strong, with the idea of there are holes inside of a mountain. Why are they there? Got to find out. And then a character that says, that hole was made for me. And that line haunts me. So
Yeah, see, I want that stuff. That's
Yeah.
why I'm gonna play Outlast 2. I need to play it because I liked the first one. I want to play the second one. I heard it's not as good, but I still want to play it. So I own it on 2 different consoles. I own it on PC and PS4. So I'm gonna play it. I just need to do it. I also need to play Alien Isolation. I heard that game is super special.
I'm not trying to rush anyone
It's so bad.
because I don't have a time limit. I don't know if you guys have a time limit. I'm just telling you, we're an hour and a half in.
Yeah, I'm about to start burning through my stuff. Yakuza 0.
Yes.
Started playing that game. The game is good. I like it so far. Kiryu is awesome. Enough said.
I need to get back into that game.
Yeah, I've played maybe an hour and a half, maybe. That game's fun. Hands down, it's fun. I'm ready to see where the story goes. The story hits you with a couple of bangers right away, and I like that because now I'm like, you got my teeth into the meat. Now I need to, get to where I can chew a little bit, and then hit me with the end of the story. Super hype. I think that game's gonna be really good. I'm excited to finish it.
Kazuma Kiryu, top 10 characters of all time.
I can believe it. Yeah, so far, Pat, Yakuza 0, it's by the same guys who did Judgment. And just like Judgment, the story is just so good. It just strings you along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes you, and like the biggest moment that I've seen so far, I won't spoil. But there's a moment where something happens, and the way that Kiryu responds to it is just phenomenal. Like it's just like the average person would not have responded this way. Like the average person would have been like, okay, like I'll listen. But no, Kiryu was like, I have to do this. Like I have to do this. And that
the law.
Also, yeah,
the world.
you give me a rhythm game inside the game, and you got me. You got me. And all of a sudden, they're in different clothes, and they're getting it like I'm in. I was so in. Oh my gosh, it was great. Loved it.
Mr. President, we got it.
Loved it. That game is going to be in my personal top 10, most likely, for sure, for this year. So we'll see. I'm not playing a whole lot of brand new games this year, go figure. So that'll be an interesting short list this year.
Hey, you played Deep Rock Galactic.
I did. That's going to be on the list. 100%.
It's going to be below Yakuza 0.
It might be.
Yeah, I would say.
I'm still playing League of Legends. Only reason I put this on here is because I had an amazing moment in League of Legends in comp that I never expected to ever have at comp. I had a 55-minute game. Longest game I've ever played of League of Legends. And about 25 minutes in, our 5th player, who was our support, Nico's support, quit. Now it's 4v5. We had a slight advantage before, and we're struggling. And they got all the way to the end where they taken out all of our they're about to start taking out our nexus. And they didn't have a wave of minions, so we held them off. Got into a crazy team fight, and we team wiped them. Went and took Baron.
Yeah.
Pushed 2 waves in, and now we have waves that are coming in with super minions, and we're trying to push bottom lane so that we can get it, so that way this 4v5 turns around. We came back over 20 minutes of gameplay. We came back and won a 4v5. It was the most insane game I've ever played. I saved the recording, and I will never give up on a game of League of Legends ever again. No matter how deep I think that we have lost, I refuse to give up, because that moment is the whole reason I play this game. The fact that we were down 4v5 and we spent 20 minutes fighting and crawling out of this hole. Dude, I was standing up and screaming whenever we beat them and destroyed the Nexus, because it was so intense and awesome. And those are the moments that make that game worth playing.
I'm glad for you.
Yep. Don't expect either one of you to ever play it again. That's fine.
I'm going to play it for one reason and only one time. But I'm planning on making a video on Pokemon Unite. And so I'm going to do a series where I play 2 matches of each of the big MOBAs.
Oh, you got to let
Pokemon
me be in
Unite comes out. For sure.
Yeah, you got to let me be in there too.
Yes.
I'm going to do League of Legends, I'm going to do Dota 2, and I'm going to do Heroes of the Storm.
I will download Dota 2, and I suck at Dota 2, but I will download it.
It's so good.
And then I will do 2 matches of Pokemon Unite, and that way I have those videos leading up to it of like, because, and I guess to a Smite too, because I feel like I don't like MOBAs, and I want to know if it's because the way they're built or because the way they're implemented, and so I want to do that video just on MOBAs as a deal, you know.
That's fair.
I feel like the lack of progression, like long-term progression, is probably part of it for you. It's part of it. I know it's part of it for me as well, because you start at level 1, get to level 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you just restart at level 1 again. And it's like,
are you talking about each game? Oh.
Yeah, each game. Yeah, like
for
in an RPG, I want it to be like an RPG where I
permanent
just keep leveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only argument I have with that, because I get that, I really do, is that I also have I feel that way about other games. So like for example, like for example, Overwatch. There is no technical progression.
Right,
but it's
which
like
is one of the problems I have with it.
But you get a different experience every time you play the game. Even with the same comp, you can have the same exact people, but because of the way that you play, there's always going to be something different. And I think that's the one thing that keeps me playing, is every single time I play a game of League of Legends, it is unlike any other game I've played before.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like MOBAs are less like your Overwatch description of different every time, and like there are very specific. This is a laning phase.
Mm-hmm.
If you know how to play the game right, you're going to do this. If you're a jungler, you know how to play the game, you're going to do this exact same.
They become very stagnant for me.
Yeah.
But in Overwatch, you could say similar things, because if you're playing specific, heroes or champions, I can't remember what they call them in that game. If you're playing, I think so too. If you're playing those specific people, like you're going to be doing basically the same thing.
Yeah.
But I guess that's my only argument to it, is even in the laning phases, that laning phase is going to be unique every time.
Sure.
And then whenever you start having to group up for team fights, potential counter lanes and stuff like that, that's what draws me in. That's what gets me playing the game all the time. And then now that they're dynamically changing the way some of the things that in-game work, it brings more life to the game for me, and I can't stop myself from playing it. I really can't. This last time I uninstalled it and reinstalled it, I started having different experiences, which sounds stupid. But
no,
I get it.
Ever since I reinstalled it this last time, I've just not been able to put it down. And honestly, I think it's because they fixed a lot of the problems that I had with the game when I was playing. And things feel more balanced, and things feel more worth what they are.
Yeah.
There's still some champions that are broken, but that'll never change in any game. But that's why you ban them.
You made me want to read that Dota 2.
Anyway, you're weak.
Yeah, I'm almost done. Started watching Food Wars unintentionally, I love food content. I watch YouTube videos about food all the time. And instead of watching a YouTube video, I was like, man, I want to watch a show about food. And I was with my girlfriend, and she was like, I started watching this show called Food Wars, and it's kind of funny. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And
Shokugeki no Soma. What's up, Andrew? Okay.
Right back.
Shokugeki no Soma.
I'm glad you're addicted to Mythical Kitchen. You should support that channel. Everyone should support that channel. I love Josh. Josh is great. I love his team. Mythical Kitchen's great. No, Food Wars, I think it's hilarious. I think it's interesting. I think it's fun. It is ecchi, and that can be funny at times and not funny and kind of annoying at times. But that negative is very much outweighed, in my opinion, by the way that they handle certain things. Like the Food Wars themselves, amazing. I love that. I
didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I just wanted to throw out real quick when we're talking about the ecchi. For what it's worth, unlike a lot of other series, Food Wars does have ecchi both ways.
Yes, 100%.
There are still scantily clad men as well, for what it's worth.
100%.
Which is more than a lot of other shows do.
But yeah, Food Wars I think is a lot of fun. It's funny. I love Soma. I think Soma's an awesome character. I love his drive. I love the way that he reacts to certain things. I think that he's a good main character. I really do. He has flaws, and he has strengths, and he's not this overpowering, super amazing, talented person. He's a guy who's been doing this his whole life and didn't realize how good at it he was until he started doing all of this. And now he's having to, try to get better and learn things that he didn't realize he either knew already or just didn't know the terms for. I think it's really good in my opinion. I like it so far. I've watched like 7 episodes.
Yeah.
And I plan on continuing to watch it and mixing that in with my YouTube time. Because not every day a food episode from one of my YouTube channels that I follow comes out that I want to watch. So if there's a day where they don't come out with anything I want to watch, I'll just watch an episode of Food Wars.
For sure. I read the manga for a long time.
Once I catch up, I want to read the manga if it's ahead of the anime. I haven't looked to see how that is.
I will be honest with you. I dropped the manga because they made a choice. How do I do this without spoiling it? There are 2 characters that romantically seem interested in each other, and all of a sudden, right towards almost the end, they introduce a 3rd character and make it a love triangle, even though that character has no reason to be interested in that other character. In fact, they have negative reason to be interested in that character. And at first I was like, oh, it'll be fine. They will not be interested because they have negative reason. Again, without trying to spoil anything, that character kidnaps them.
Oh boy.
And then that character goes, or then the one character goes, well, he's not so bad. And I was like, oh, no, dropped.
Gotcha.
We're not doing this.
Gotcha. I'm still going to watch it.
For all I know, it pays off later. Maybe she's just trying to trick him. I don't know. But at that point, I was like, I got other stuff I want to read. No.
That's fair. Up until now, anyway, I think that it's been really good. So I plan on continuing to watch it slowly. Of course, I'm still watching Star Wars. If y'all are following on my new Twitter account, which is below me down there, still watching Star Wars. I love it. I'm more into Star Wars now than I've ever been unintentionally, and it's
still
great.
Watching Gundam.
I have been watching some Gundam. Still watching 00. I'm getting close to the end. It's been very difficult to try to fit everything together.
Yeah.
I'll have a different amount of time than I had before soon with this move. So I will probably have more time to watch things in general.
Yeah.
But I've been making time to watch Star Wars because I'll sit there and I'm like, I want to watch something that I've either already seen, or don't have to put a whole lot of effort into.
Right.
and I've been watching Star Wars, but I've been finding myself super into it instead, which I'm glad. So, and then last thing, I want to talk about MLB The Show because it did something I didn't like, and I'm probably going to stop playing the game. Because I like playing a pitcher, and I also like playing position players. You play position players if you want to hit. You play a pitcher if you want to pitch. Very,
Sure,
very
that
obvious.
makes sense.
Well, at the beginning, when you're playing in AA or AAA, well, you start off in AA, which is like there's tiers to the leagues. So there's MLB, AAA, AA, and then single A technically. You start off in AA and you have a really low overall. Well, in that league, you're playing against people of your skill caliber. They're in the same overall range, roughly. And I performed really well there because those people are around the same overall as me.
Sure.
Well, the game is like, dang, he's doing really good. Let's just move him up to the MLB. And it won't let me do anything other than perform poorly to not make that happen. So now I'm playing against people whose overalls are 90 and 80 and even 70, and my overall is still 62.
Yeah.
But that kind of happens in real life too, though. I mean, you go against tougher obstacles in like sports.
But usually they move you up to AAA and see how you do there before they move you up to MLB. They don't just go, man, he pitched one shutout against this team. Let's just move him up to the MLB from AA. Like they don't typically do that.
We got a
And
name
so
you'll learn your lesson.
Pat. We got a name for where you are. It's called ELO Hell.
But the thing is, it's all computers. Well, the thing is,
I was gonna say the UFC game does something similar, where if you're on a win streak and you're going, you're gonna hit that wall that you have to. Now it's different because I feel like MLB The Show and baseball in general, there's skill, but there's also some luck involved. And if one person's just that much better than you, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But in UFC with fighting, there are different tactics for each person. You have rounds where you can kind of cool down and learn. So I like it. I haven't played MLB The Show in forever, so I can't do a 1-to-1 comparison. But in like UFC, I like that where I hit that wall where I'm like 70 and I'm fighting who's 91.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, how am I going to do it? And then I do it, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm better.
Yeah. So this is what happened. So it moved me up to MLB, and I was like, okay, my overall is a 60. I think it was a 65 at the time. I was like, okay, my overall 65. The worst player I'm gonna see in the MLB is probably a 75, 72. That's still a pretty good gap. But most of those players are not. They're in their 80s or almost 90s, if not in the 90s. So it's like, we'll just see what happens. First game, 6 home runs. 6. And there was nothing I could do. I'd pitch a ball, and it felt like I threw it all the way out here, but because the difficulty's high, it'll be like, well, you threw it poorly, but you just happened to randomly throw it poorly right down the pipe, and this dude's got the arms of Jesus Christ. So he just knocks it into heaven.
The Vampire Hunter?
Yeah. And so, like, I'm just sitting there like, I don't want to pitch anymore. Take me out of the game. And they're like, nope, keep pitching. Hope that slider works this time. I'll throw a slider and mean to throw it at his knee, and it will hit, just one of the corners, and it just gets cranked. And I'm like, man, move me down. I play like 8 games, and my ERA is well above 4, which is not good. And then it's like, all right, you're not doing too hot, man. We're going to move you back down. I played 2 games in AAA, which my overall moved up to 70 during this time period of playing in MLB. And I threw a no-hitter. And I was like, heck yeah, dude. Let me play in this for a little bit. Let me get good. Next game, move me back up to the MLB. Why? Why, game? Why are you doing this to me? You're punishing me for being good at the skill level I'm supposed to be good at.
No, you've got to prove to them, Pat, that you can play on that MLB level. The problem is it's a video game, so it's very
confusing itself. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
confusing itself because it doesn't look at the overall; it just sees the performance, and it's like, oh man, he had 4 no hitters. Obviously, he needs to move up, and it's just like, no, I don't. I don't need to move up to the MLB. Like, just let me get my overall up first. So probably not playing that game anymore. Just kind of getting tired of that. I might play the positional players still, but I'm not going to pitch anymore because it's hell. It's literal hell. I hate it. But yeah, that's been my week.
Trey is just like, yeah.
I have no idea 3/4 of what you said there. I was just sitting here with the Healing Good Precure theme in my head.
Don't worry. The sports news that I have later will be a conversation that will be less about sports than anything else. So don't
Cool.
worry.
My knowledge of baseball is tied into what I had when I was a child, which is not much when I was forced to play outfield. And then JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And like 4 episodes of Diamond No Ace. So when I think about baseball, my brain goes, that's her baseball. Mr. Joester. Red Draggers. Yeah, we're on to my week now. So first off, I'll show off the new Toku stuff that came.
Yeah, no, save that for last.
Save it for last? Okay.
Yeah, come on now. You gotta build up to
Save
it.
it for last. I'll save it for last. I finished Neo 2. Do you guys want? I mean, I know I don't need to talk about it for too long. Do you guys want the cool thing that happens, or do you want me not to spoil that?
Don't spoil it.
Okay. I will say, Neo 2's ending is incredible. I immediately put it on the docket. And the thing that happens there is really, really good. Neo 2, really, really fun game. I like it a lot. I love the fact that I picked up dual swords right at the end of the game. And because the way the mastery system works in that game, because I already had Tonfas at level 30, I was getting dual sword points constantly. I killed one guy and got 2 points to upgrade my dual swords.
Nice.
So like it just kept rolling them out for me, and I had a lot of fun with that. There's a cool like spin move that I can do where I roundhouse kick a guy mid slash. It's pretty cool. Neo 2, really, really solid. Really, really solid. Like that game a lot.
I'm still on the same boss.
Call in help, buddy. I'll come help you. And Inra is tough. He's a really, really difficult boss.
You definitely making me want to play the game again as well. I feel like
should.
I need to keep playing it.
That ending's really solid. I unironically think the story with the main character in Tokichiro is really, really good.
Where is that on your top 10 right now?
Number 3.
Okay.
What's number 4?
Let me pull it back up. I think
That's important right now because this year is poop so far.
Number 4 is Helltaker.
Helltaker's really good.
What's number 2?
Number 2 is Final Fantasy VII Remake, though I feel like if anything else comes out for that towards the end of the year, it could overtake Heaven's Remains.
Okay. All right. I forgot that FF7 Remake came out, and I need to buy it.
You should, because a bunch of stuff has been pushed back, so we're kind of low on games this year.
This year's been easy to forget, though. So much negative stuff has happened that you don't want to think about what happened months ago.
Yeah, for sure. Maneater's on my top 10 because there's so few new games that came out.
Maneater is?
Yeah, it's number 10 right now. And I don't even have a number 7.
Oof.
Oh, I want to put more time into Deep Rock Galactic, and then I'll put it somewhere on the list. But
sounds like it's sure in for 7 right now, at least.
Yeah, it'll probably take number 5 right now, honestly. But anyway, yeah, Neo 2 is really good. I started The Way of Kings. It's a book.
Yeah.
I bought it 3 times.
Oh boy.
So I bought the audiobook, and I was listening to the audiobook, and the audiobook was really good. But do you guys remember when I talked about Malazan?
Yeah.
It's so tiny. It's not that small.
That's what he said.
It's short, but it's thick.
Yeah. There's a joke there that I'm not going to continue with.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember when I talked about Malazan, Book of the Fallen, Gardens of the Moon?
No.
So Malazan
No.
is a book that, if you, I'll try and jog your memory. It doesn't explain anything. There's no character that is the explanation character. It just throws you into the story. It just goes, and just slip off your brain if you haven't read them. Like nothing is explained at all. You just go. Malazan, Book of the Fallen is the series name. Very, very, very good. I'm only 3 books in because it takes me 3 months to read one of those books because I have to reread them and reread them and reread them to move on because they're very tough to chew. Very tough to chew on. Way of Kings is like that, but easier. So I'm definitely getting through it a lot faster. You are right, Pat. Definitely getting through it a whole lot easier because of that. Because I don't have to reread chapters to be able to figure out exactly what was said. I don't think I can go back to regular fantasy anymore because of Way of Kings and Malazan. I don't like it when stuff is explained to me anymore. I want to have to figure it out on my own now. It's a puzzle while I'm reading. Yeah! It's a puzzle while I'm reading. And just the fact that, like, while I'm reading it, they'll go, well, yeah, these are the Parshmen. They're the Parshindi. Are they're related to the Parshindi, but maybe not. And my brain goes, okay, that's important. And then it goes, okay, here's also the whole kingdom of Alethkar. And I'm like, okay, well, that seems important. I'll remember that. And then, like, here's the Alethi. And you just go down the line. And it's like, okay, just slow down for a second. So the audiobook, I had to, like, move it back sometimes to be able to keep up with it. I was like, that's not good. I'll order the book. But the book wasn't coming in until Saturday. So I listened to the audiobook some more. But this book is huge. I can't hold this in bed. So I got the Kindle version. And so the Kindle version auto syncs to the Audible version.
Yep.
So while I'm driving, I can listen to it when I'm driving to and from work. And then when I get home, I can just pick up my Kindle and keep going. And it's really, really cool how that works. I think that the idea of a series being explained to me now actually upsets me. And I know that sounds dumb, but you know those chapters where it's like, okay, here's your fresh-faced farm boy main character, and he doesn't know how any of this stuff works, and so we're going to take 10 minutes to explain to him how magic works in this universe. Don't do that. Do Malazan, where it goes, all right, I'm going to activate my Warren. And you're like, what's a Warren? What is that? What's a Warren? What is that? And then you have Talk the Younger being over there like, well, you know, these things keep crashing. It's like, what are you even talking about? What are these things? What? It's like, this is great. Way of Kings does that, where you will have moments of the first chapter. The first real chapter starts with a character wearing white to go kill a king. And it just goes from there. Why is he wearing white? Why does he say it's not right to walk on stone? Why does he have gravity powers? What's a shard blade? And it's just like, and I'm so happy. So happy by it. It's so good. Thanks for the follow. Yeah. Ses Sansan Valano, truthless of Shenovar, wore white on the day he was to kill a king. It's great. It's really, really good. I definitely recommend the series so far. I can't put it down. I'm like, where am I at on the Kindle version? I'm in part 2 already. And I'm
parts of it.
4, I think, maybe 5 in the first book. The first book's pretty long, but I ordered the first 3 books. So, yeah, the first book is like 1,252 pages. So, You know.
I can't do that. My ADHD is too bad for that.
That's why you read the Kindle version.
It doesn't help.
Yeah, because then you read it in pieces, in bits and pieces.
Oh yeah. I can't find my Kindle. I haven't.
They're pretty cheap.
I have. They're cheap, but I haven't. I haven't got around to telling Courtney that I lost it. And there's some books that have come out that I've wanted to read, but I keep making excuses of why I can't read it. Like, oh, I'm not gonna have time for that or whatever. But really, it's just because I lost my Kindle.
Yeah.
And it's been gone for over a year.
Well, as was brought up, you could also go with the audiobook version. The narrators are very, very good. It's Scott Renning and I can't remember her name, but they do a really good job.
Audiobooks, for me at least, audiobooks I don't remember as
That's
well
fair.
as if I was to actually read the book. So I've tried audiobooks and I like them, but then at the end I couldn't tell you what really happened.
Joel, that sounds great. Warbreaker has a god who doesn't believe in gods. That sounds great.
That's awesome. Use that the next D&D campaign.
Yep, I will. Don't worry.
Get out that scumbag Eric.
I will say, just like Malazan, these books are tough to get into if you're not used to that kind of thing. If you are somebody who reads and is waiting, like, what is a chull? You got to tell me what a chull is. I can't imagine a chull if you don't tell me what a chull is. If you're that kind of person, this is going to be tough on you. Maybe consider not or listening to the audiobook. But I think it's absolutely worth reading. And I really like it. And again, because it's easier to get through than Malazan, I will probably read through the entire series before I go finish Malazan. But you know.
It sounds those books sound really interesting.
Can I tell you one last really cool thing about him?
Of course you can.
That character from the first chapter that can control gravity, the way that he does it is not like, oh, well, you know, he just raises his hand and then gravity becomes stronger around something. He has to lash things to each other. He has to lash things to each other. So, for instance, he will lash a guard to the ceiling, and then for the guard, the ceiling is now the floor. And so he will just fall up. Or this character, Seth, will use kicks, not by like using gravity to shoot himself forward, but by lashing himself to the far wall so that wall is now the ground. And so he falls as if it was a chute instead of a walkway, you know?
Nice.
It's really cool. Sanderson put a lot of thought into it, but I saw chat. I will not read the magic chart. I will wait to do that so I don't get spoiled. I need everyone to at least try to read Malazan at one point because I need you to understand how good they are. But Malazan would have been like, Briar activates his, reaches into his warren and the magic answers him. Before him, 3 men burn and writhe in agony. And then it's like, what did it? Oh, you're never gonna know. You're never gonna know. You will literally never be explained what type of magic killed those men or why they were burning. We're moving on. We don't got time for it. It's like, you just got to accept they're burning now. That's what's important. Malazan will also do this thing where, like, you've had 4 chapters with this one character, and they're really cool, and the God of Luck's on their side, and you kind of like them, and then go, okay, the next 16 chapters are going to be in a city all the way across the country on another continent with a whole different character you've never met before, and we're not going to introduce him to you or explain what he looks like or anything. Here's Kaladin Brood. Let's go. Here's Animander Rake. Let's go. And it's like, who are these people? I love it, but, you know. We'll move on. Future bonus episode, maybe. I also played a little bit of Smash.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I played some Min Min. She's not going to be my new main, for sure. I'm still going to stick with Terry. But I did beat a level 9 PC or a level 9 CPU with her,
Nice.
and she's really fun. Basically, like her area of control, if you can hold that down, if you can keep that. If you can keep that distancing, you got her. She's like you will win. The problem is you have to be able to take advantage of that distance. And so if people get in your distance, if they get in your range, you can get real bad hurt real quick. Because you will attack, and if they roll through the attack, you just don't hit them. Even though your arm is still out there, you know? So
She looks
Okay,
interesting.
bonus episode okay.
I'm just sad that I said arms, and it happened.
You were right.
I mean, of course, though, because it's a Switch exclusive.
It's
have
the
any
greatest game of all time. This is what I get.
Did you even? Have you even played Arms?
No,
You
it was a
should. It's
meme.
actually a fun game.
It was a meme from the beginning. I legit just hyped up arms because I could, and started saying things
Pat,
like,
You understand? You did this.
"No,
You
I
hyped
know.
up Arms, and Sakurai went, Patrick loves
Yep.
Arms. We
I
must
regret
reach
it.
out to them.
I regret it. I should have been telling him instead how much I love Left 4 Dead. And maybe we'd have Left 4 Dead characters in Smash."
That would never happen. They'd have to raise the rating if they did that. It's the same reason that My Shiranui wasn't allowed.
It's just Coach with a fireman axe and a pistol. And every time he like eats one of the food items, it's a pill. And he's like, "Pills here."
So, do you know what I'm most excited about with Min Min being in the game?
What's that?
The fact that Min Min now deconfirms the idea that like stickers and spirits can't be playable characters. Because she was
Ooh, I didn't
she
even
was
think
a
about
spirit
that.
and a sticker. So
You know what that means?
Isaac is up on the table again. Gino is up on the table again.
Waluigi.
Waluigi's up on the table again.
Waluigi will be in this game.
All
They've
these
taken
characters are
enough.
available again.
They've taken enough of a beating from the community. Waluigi will be in Smash.
So I know that people are upset at Min Min being in the game because the idea of a wasted slot, right? We talked about that last week. The idea of a wasted slot. I think personally, I think she's a great addition to the game anyway, having played her now. But I think that they wanted to avoid what they did last time, where Byleth was the last one. And so they added the one they knew people would be disappointed by first. And then now we got 5 more.
Look, man, if Hank Hill is in this game, I'll never stop playing Smash. And instead of like the normal beginning fight scene, like fight music, it's just like the very brief section of the opening, whenever it's like boom, ba-dam, ba-dam, boom, ba-dam. Fight!
Patrick Star wouldn't be a bad choice.
Look, I can't be in the game.
Rehydrated.
They refuse to put me in the game. I'm sorry, I can't do it. They
You would
won't.
be legally required to be a Hank Hill main.
Damn it, Bobby.
Yeah, they refuse. They refuse to put me in the game. I'm sorry, everyone.
We need to do another one of those bonus episodes where we do just a discussion on who the next Smash characters are going to be.
Yeah,
I
I'm
still
down.
think Dante's getting in. I cannot see a world where he doesn't.
I think Waluigi's now confirmed.
I don't think Waluigi's
No.
ever going to make it.
Yep.
No, Waluigi sucks.
I agree with you. I don't like Waluigi. I don't.
What do you think?
I think he,
My Waluigi amiibo and my Waluigi plushie. What do you think?
we suck.
Nah,
I
suck.
can bring Buff Granny and Momotaro's back.
Put them in Smash.
Hey, yeah, put Momotaro's in Smash.
Look, I want Gon from Hunter x Hunter in Smash.
They would add Goku first, unironically.
They
Yeah.
would, and I would hate it. The game doesn't deserve or need Goku. Put a better Dragon Ball Z character like Piccolo in the game.
They did have a Smash game for Shonen Pro Tags, and it was really good. And they changed it into the weird 3D games that were not very good. And then Jump Force happened.
Oh,
Jump Force is a monstrosity.
Anyway, we should move on. I also have some from Toku stuff to show off.
there we go. Here we go. This is what we all came for right now.
The first thing is the Yudo Breaker from Tokuger, including Drill Russia or Drill Carolina. So this is on Amazon. It's the Korean version, even though it doesn't say that on Amazon.
Oh, nice.
So the voice isn't quite the same. But you can put, I'm going to turn the deal off so everybody can hear it. You'll only hear me out of your left speaker. And then you can attack with it. If you don't flip it the way that Tokyo Rokugo does, then it will just say a bunch of stuff in Korean. Let me show you that. I think it's supposed to be saying Yudo Breaker, Toku Rokugo in Japanese, but because it's the Korean version. I don't speak a bit of Korean.
Oh, I'm disappointed.
But still very cool. It looks just like it. Also, he's my favorite Tokuger, just like Kat. And so, very excited to have it and Drill Russia. And the drill turns.
That's cool.
So, very, very nice. Then I got the Dino belt. The Dino belt is not cheap, but I got it for a good deal because they don't make these anymore. And so this was maybe one of my favorite belts in the entire series.
Ooh, that's a groovy tune.
And so that's Momotaros. And then you go Urataros. Then you have Kintaro. And then finally, you have Ryutaro. Super weird instrument, that's fair. But my favorite is still Momotaros.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
That's the guy that dances. That's his. This is his belt. Momo's the best. You can also do a full charge. And so then if you have the weapon, it'll transfer the full charge to the weapon, and then it'll do the finisher attack. So I ordered the weapon. And then there's also the Climax phone that goes with it as well, which I've ordered. And so that'll go on there as well. And then I'll be able to use Climax form with it, which would be really cool.
That SpongeBob meme got me. Not gonna lie.
So, you know, Momotaros. Really cool. Anyway,
First grade SpongeBob.
2 hours into the podcast, we should move on to everybody's favorite segment. Who's that sitting cutie?
Oh, they're sitting and they're cute. Oh no, it's sitting cutie.
I have been told multiple times that my Patrick Star impression is above average. And I don't know if I'm happy about it or if I'm upset about it. And I don't want to talk about it. However, if you really want me to do more impressions, I will gladly do so. Because that's one of the only talents in this life that I have. That and opening sitting cutie boxes.
Just
Which
the
I'm doing horribly right now, by the way.
Put it on your OnlyFans.
I will make an OnlyFans that's just me doing Patrick Star impression. And you can gladly pay me money to hear me say things like, "It's not my wallet."
Courtney the other day jokingly asked me, "Hey, can I start? Is it cool if I start an OnlyFans?" And I just and I just take feet pictures. And I looked at her and I said, I mean, yeah, I was going to get us more money.
Look, it's
just
a money-making decision.
Yeah.
Can I do an OnlyFans that's like just pictures of tokusatsu stuff?
But it has to be sexy, Trey. So you got to have like it covering your junk or something.
Well, they are belts.
Yeah.
So, I know it's been a while. It has been a while since we've done this.
Can't take a drink.
And that's okay. We're bringing it back.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Do we even know what types to put on a survey?
I didn't even
Look,
think to make a poll.
I love that we did it, but it's getting more and more difficult to make sure that those types are available.
Sure.
And I hate to do that, but I think that it's probably best if we don't do that anymore.
Okay.
Just because this last time I was scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, you know, this is the last Pokemon on this list that's a dark type. Like I can't keep getting dark types, guys. I'm sorry.
I got you.
Dark has been chosen 3 times.
People like dark types.
And I do too. I get it. But there's only so many. So sorry, can't do it. Bet you didn't remember where we were on the full spectrum unknowns.
Nope, sure didn't.
But I did. We're on the letter C.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
It's kind of difficult to see.
Yeah, doesn't look like I see it all.
I think Machete 80 has made a great point. You could take 3 types that you liked and put those on Twitter and do a Twitter poll.
Okay, I'll do that. That's a good option. I'll pick 3. I'll choose 2, and the third Pokemon, I'll put their types, and y'all can choose that way.
Sure.
That'll work. But we're on C of Spectrum.
It's difficult
C.
to see.
Almost done.
We're getting close.
Yeah.
We're getting really close. So I have next week. I can for sure get some more, but because of this move, that following week might be difficult.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to be in the same place for shipping.
That, and there's the whole like money situation between switching jobs. I don't have to tell you about the logistics.
I still have to reimburse you for this month.
That's okay. We'll talk about that later.
Hmm.
This next one also, they sent it in a smaller box. Some of these got squished a little bit. I'm having to kind of like, yeah, I'm not happy. Like I'm not happy at all.
Need the axe? Here, you can take the axe.
Thank you. Yeah, let me just grab that real quick. Thanks, I appreciate it.
I went the wrong way.
That's fine.
I was trying to push it off the screen, and instead
I also grabbed it from the wrong side. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so I'm kind of a little unhappy by that. But from what I can tell so far, if I twist certain things a certain way, they'll kind of go back to where they were supposed to go. But I'm gonna email them this next time and be like, "Hey, don't do this because this pisses me off."
I should unironically buy you both Shingo axes so that we can do dumb stuff like that.
Oh boy,
no.
So that I can go, "Hey Andrew, you're up," and just like hand it down to you.
Man, you know what I've been really wanting? This is a little bit of a it's not even really a derail. It's just
sure, no worries. We're only
part of this.
2 hours and 15 minutes in.
Well, I'm doing something and it's filling that time.
I love how we're not supposed to care about time, but every week Trey gets worse and worse about like it's been 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 63 seconds. And it's like, no, Trey, we're not supposed to care.
I mean, I don't.
We hit that tier. Come on now.
Patreon tier for axes.
When I was a kid, I actually had a Pokédex.
Yeah.
And I loved it because I thought it was so cool. And I think I want to try to find one. So I'm going to be looking for a Pokédex online soon.
Nice, Joel. They're very tough, but I think you'll like them.
So this next Pokemon is Bug Poison.
Bug Poison.
It is a 2-stage. In its first stage, it is Bug Poison.
2-stage. Welcome back, Will. 2-stage in its
Welcome
first
back.
stage.
Weedle, Scorpy,
Scorpy,
Spinarak,
Pikachu.
2-stage
Pikachu.
in its first stage. I'm also gonna go with Spinarak, I think. Oh, Venonat's not a bad choice. though.
Venonat.
Am I the only person in the world who does not know all these Pokemon names?
Yes, it's just you. It's just
No,
you.
some of these I don't know. If that makes you feel better, like I don't know who Spinarak is.
Well, that tells you it's not Spinarak, everybody. Pat let the goose out on that one.
Sorry, dog.
So yeah, no, it's definitely Venonat, right?
Scorpy's on there.
Yeah, I doubt if you don't know who Spinarak is, I don't expect you to know who Scorpy is. All right, I've hit
Y'all
the
ready
button.
to go?
It said we could go. Show us the Venonat.
It's Venonat.
Yeah.
I
Nat-
think that
Nat-
it would look better if it hadn't been smushed.
Sure. It still looks
which-
good.
It looks good though.
Yeah, I still think it looks good. It's difficult to. I know that it's difficult to make Venonat because of the way that his fur looks in the show and
Yeah.
in the sprites and stuff. But I think this was probably the best that they could do.
Do you want to know some
outside
weird,
of-
dumb Venonat lore?
Yes.
Venonat
do.
was originally supposed to evolve into Butterfree.
Oh,
that's
I
why
knew
they
this.
have the same antenna. And Metapod was supposed to evolve into Venomoth. And then they changed it. I don't know why.
Because why not? Let's see who's next. And while we do that,
I feel like that one was less like impressive than when I was like, yeah, Magikarp was supposed to evolve into Dragonite because here's the reason why they changed it. Or when it was Cubone was supposed to evolve into Kangaskhan and here's the reason why they changed it because this one was just, I don't know.
well, no, that's true. Like I remember hearing about that as well, and I was pretty confused.
I just remembered this. Has nothing to do with Pokemon. But I just remembered it and it upsets me. My mother was supposed to buy me a real grade Crossbone X1 for my birthday. Love it. Would be super excited to have it. Amazon lost the package.
Oh man.
She texted me because I was like, I guess she asked me for some ideas for stuff I wanted for my birthday.
That's terrible,
I still
man.
have stuff, and she bought me some stuff, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I'll get the X1 at some point, you know. And she texted me the other day and was like, hey, did you ever get that Gundam? And I was like, no, was I supposed to? And she's like, yeah, I just was looking at my Amazon account. It says it's lost. So, although she didn't call it
Hopefully she gets her
Gundam,
money back.
she did, but she didn't call it Gundam. She called it Bandai Spirits. Number.
That's funny. This next Pokemon,
Yep.
Poison.
Pure poison.
Pure Poison. Second stage of a 2-stage.
Second stage of shoes. Okay. It's Muck. Oh, could be Arbok. I think it's Muck, but
Arbok and Muck are the two that have been said so far.
everybody better? Ready? Better.
Wheezing.
Ready? Wheezing, it could be, yeah. Hitting the button.
Arbok.
Said we could go.
It's
Show us the
Muck.
Muck. Yeah.
And Muck looks good.
Yeah, he does.
I'm a huge fan of this one.
Muck does.
I
look
think
really
this
good.
is one of the better ones that we've seen. Muck looks good.
You can put stuff in his mouth. Cat, why is that the first thing you think of?
Muck.
You're sick. You're sick.
It does look like a pudding, though. That's true. Bah. I made it weird. Cat's the one who said it.
You can put stuff in its mouth. Oh no, that's already weird by itself. Okay.
But yeah, Muck, everybody.
Oh no, Muck was really cool. Ash never should have sent in Professor Oak. He should have kept him in his team.
But we all know Ash is an idiot.
That's true. Yeah, for sure.
Worst protagonist ever? Question mark.
No, he's not the worst. School Days exists.
The last one for today. I couldn't get as many as last time.
That was really cool.
1 second. Let me pull up the official stuff.
Could an idiot win a league championship after 18 years of trying?
He also made a deal so that way he'll never get older until he's captured all the Pokemon.
A stopped clock is right twice a day.
So this Pokemon is the dark Pokemon that you all wanted.
Okay.
Dark Flying.
That should have rung a bell. Oh, I know.
First stage of a 2-stage.
Yeah, it's Murkrow. If it's first stage of a 2-stage, it's actually a 3-stage Pokemon too, isn't it? Murkrow, Honchkrow. No, it's just 2. It's just 2. Murkrow, Honchkrow.
It's first stage of a 2-stage.
In my head, I keep thinking there's a third one. I really feel like there is, though.
Machete Eddie Kingler is an amazing guess.
It's Kingler,
my
all right.
favorite
It's
guess.
Dark flying Pokemon, Kingler.
Kingler, and you didn't know this, but Kingler's a flying Pokemon.
Kingler's evolution Fight Crab is a flying type because it flies with a rocket. Oh, could be a Velta. Imagine if Jesse and James won the league. All right, I'm gonna hit the button. It said we could go. Show us that Murkrow.
Trey is 3 for 3.
I know my Pokemon.
And Murkrow looks amazing.
Murkrow.
I'm a fan. Even the tail feathers fan out.
Yeah.
This is a solid sitting cutie right here.
Very much so.
It even has, I don't know if you can see that very well, but it has like the little upness of the fur there, of the feathers and stuff there.
Tokoyami.
What? Oh.
Jin said Tokoyami from My Hero. I see it though, for sure.
I also see it, and now I'm upset that I don't have a Tokoyami sitting cutie.
You do. You have a Tokoyami City cutie right there.
No, I want a real one. I am. Whenever I collect all of the ones that they have available, I will make a video where I talk about all of them. And if you want, it'll be a long video, but I will gladly rank them using the rank tier list rank creator.
You have to do that.
And I will rank them based on how well I think that they resemble the sprites or animated versions.
You got to do that.
I will gladly do that.
Joel's right. That's what I was thinking of. It's Murkrow, Honchkrow, Tokoyami. Clearly. That's the evolutionary line.
There you go. Tokoyami is literally OP.
Yeah, he's a 3rd stage dark flying type. It's so rare.
But yeah, those are the sitting cuties for today. I know y'all probably missed it. I'm glad I could bring it.
Oh, they're sitting and they're cute. Oh no, it's a sitting cutie.
So, just wanted to add this in, just as general conversation. This move is going to be difficult, in general. One of the things I never considered when I started doing this is how, if I move, the sitting cuties have to move.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And getting all of those sitting cuties into something feasible is going to be interesting.
Yep.
Because I have a lot. Like, a lot.
Put them in a big garbage bag? That's actually not a bad idea.
There's all of these. I've got some down here. I've got a few down here. And I've got an entire trunk that's just covered in them. I don't think y'all realize how many sitting cuties I have right now.
The good news is, much like the collection behind me, when you get into a more permanent home, you can basically set everything up how you want it and just set it and leave.
Whenever I eventually get some stuff straightened out, and then whenever I'm in my hometown and I get my own place, like get a completely a house that's for me, one room is gonna be the podcast / gaming room.
Yeah.
And the entire wall is just gonna have sitting cuties everywhere.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that to happen. Yes, I am driving.
I wish my office was bigger so that I could put the Common Rider stuff in the office. But I don't want to move any of this because I had to move it all to get it in here.
See, the biggest mistake that's not a mistake that you made is putting the posters up.
Yeah.
That's real estate that you lost.
Yeah, I could have put more shelves up there.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin those posters.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
But the thing is, they look really good up there. So that's why I'm saying it's not a mistake.
Right.
But as far as being able to put more stuff in there, that was the mistake. Because
yeah,
realistically, you could have just shelved the whole.
Oh yeah, the
wall.
belts could all be up there, looking great.
That's what I'm gonna do with the sitting cuties. Whenever I eventually get that room that's designated for that stuff, I am going to have an entire wall full of sitting cuties.
You got me, Andrew. I gotta do
just a trash bag.
He's got it over his shoulder. He's like, "All right, guys, and just shove this up here."
Yeah, they're like, "Sir, we need to scan that." I'm like, "No, you don't. No, you don't."
Momo tag in.
They're like, "No. We need to scan, and make sure there's not any weapons or anything in there." I'm like, "No, you don't. This is my most prized possession. I refuse to let you look in it." And then they force me to let them look inside, and it's just a bunch of Pokemon plush dolls, and they're like, "This guy's insane. This guy's insane."
Sir, step aside. Step aside.
They call the police and arrest me for insanity. I'm gonna start counting the amount of sitting cuties that I have when Trey comes back. That way we can discuss this addiction that I have that has been fueled by our amazing viewers. One thing I also didn't consider is Sharif is coming with me, obviously. Literally gonna take up my passenger seat. My passenger seat could be for a person that's helping me move, and that person will be Sharif. So, yeah, I'm gonna start counting.
Don't start counting. What?
Why? I can talk and do both.
You have too many.
I do, but I don't.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
While you count, let's hit on some game announcements. Andrew, that joke was exquisite and almost killed me, so congratulations. Just the idea of Pat with the bag. Hey, how's it going?
It's slamming into people.
They're like, "Oh, well, we got to check your bag, sir." And he's like, "You won't touch my children."
Wait, what was that, sir?
Nothing. So let's talk about this other one first. That way Pat has time to count, because this is weird. Niantic, the makers of Pokemon Go, are making Catan World Explorers. So it's a AR Catan game. Pat, do you have the number?
Yep.
What's the number?
53.
Does that include all the unknowns?
Yes.
Okay.
That also includes Sharif. But if you take out Sharif, that's 52. These things are $11 a pop. Do the math.
Yep, I don't have to.
$572 before tax.
Pat, you don't want to know how much I gave for that Dino belt that's normally $1,000.
I really don't.
I got it for drastically cheaper. I'll put it that way. But you still don't want to know.
I'm over here I'm over here like I bought some Gunpla for like $50.
Band says too many or not enough. Thanks for the bits,
You're right.
Band.
Just imagine not counting the 11. Well, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, then minus the 11 unknown. We're sitting at what, 42?
Yeah.
That's just straight sitting cuties.
So
That's gonna be a long video.
Yep, it will be. So, if I was to ask you guys, the team that made Pokemon Go, right, that made that Harry Potter game, that made Ingress, they have the Jurassic Park game. If they were to make a new game, what do you think it would be?
Not Catan.
Nope, Catan is like the furthest thing from my brain. Settlers of Catan is like not this. I don't know if it's Catan. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep.
I don't know.
Interchanging
Who
them.
cares?
So yeah, you'll be collecting brick, lumber, grain, ore, and wool to trade with other players and build settlements into cities. Also,
It should have just been a fad over a summer with Pokemon Go.
I'll ask this question. Do you think now is the time to release another AR game? When people
let's get
aren't
everybody out
supposed to be outside their homes that much?
When is it releasing?
They didn't say. It just says very soon the beta will be coming. And like it very much depends on where you are, right? Different parts of the country you have more autonomy than other parts. And then other countries have either more or less autonomy as well. Like around here, I can walk up and down the road, but I can't go to the park. The park is closed. In my hometown. Which is normally where I walk. I won't get into the specifics, but I do a lot of walking because I can't do any running. I can't do that. I can't go to the park. I normally play Pokemon Go when I go to the park to walk. So it just feels like a weird time to go, here's our new AR game, when a lot of people aren't able to make use of AR, you know? Although, Battleship would be pretty cool, honestly. That you'd have to swim or sail. If the game doesn't, you would stand in a puddle because the game just needs to read that you're in water. So yeah, that's Catan World Explorers. The other game that got announced is Pokemon Unite.
More Pokemon, always good, right?
I'm still interested.
I'm interested.
Hate me. I'm interested. I want it to be good, and I'm gonna play it.
I'm gonna play it. I just don't like it. Yeah, I mean it's free to play. Why wouldn't you try it? You know, but
it's a team-based strategy game, not a MOBA.
Yeah.
Don't say MOBA.
Yeah,
they literally were talking about MOBA strats, and they were like, "It's not a MOBA."
Yeah, I don't like the way it was marketed. I don't like the way that they held off a week so that they could have it as its own special thing, which only made people more disappointed. I don't like that it's free to start, as chat is talking about. I can't stand that slogan because that just tells me, well, I don't know how much money I'm going to spend, but you expect me to spend money at some point. Yeah, it's such a weird idea, and then not putting it on PC, but putting it on mobile and Switch. I don't know. We'll see. I don't like the way that it looks like it plays, but we'll see.
I just want to say, I'm starting to get a vibe where they're like, if it's a mobile game, we can put it on Switch. So they just do it.
Yeah. The other thing is that go ahead. I
was just saying I'm not here for that.
The other thing is that Nintendo kind of missed the time for a mobile game or a MOBA game. So I'm assuming sometime like 7 years from now we'll get a battle royale from them.
Oh, a Pokemon battle royale would be so much fun.
It would.
What would you collect? I guess you could evolve and stuff.
Yeah, you'd collect XP.
Yeah.
Or potions and Pokeballs and stuff like that.
I want to play a Pokemon Battle Royale, but on the Warzone map. So it's hyper realistic and everything. And...
Yeah, and as Jen points out, it's Tencent.
Yeah.
Tencent, the company that nickel and dimes their players and forces crunch. Treats everybody poorly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think all of us are pretty much in that same not excited for it. Pat's probably the most positive. Yeah, and support slavery. They're Tencent's not a good company. When
No.
Nintendo said they were partnering with them, I was like, ooh, and not Nintendo, I guess, it's the Pokemon company, but like, ooh, that's a choice you can make. Please
Yeah,
don't
see, I
love
don't-
Pikachu and it's his first day on the job.
I'm not gonna spend money,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna play the game.
Sure, it's free to play or free to start. Why not? In the news, Tales of Arise has been delayed indefinitely. This is
That's
yet
always
again
weird.
due to the virus. Development has been slowed down to the point where they will not be able to make release window anymore. And so they don't know when they'll be done with it. So it's been delayed indefinitely. Obviously, keep the team safe. Do what you got to do. Still sad to hear. I was very much looking forward to that game. But it is what it is. From there, the Cyberpunk Edge Runner anime was announced, done by Studio Trigger, known for such things as Promare, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, Kisniver, and they were the team that used to be at Gainax that made Gunbuster.
Ooh. Now you got me intrigued.
So
Gunbuster.
they are making the Cyberpunk anime, and it seems like they're pretty excited for it. Yeah, I'm all in with you, Jane. Gurren Lagann is amazing.
I gotta see Gurren Lagann.
Also, Kill a Kill. Kill a Kill. I forgot to bring up Kill a Kill.
Gunbuster is special. Everybody
Gunbuster's
should see
very
that.
good.
It's short. Go
6
watch it.
episodes. Go watch it. We also got to see some new Cyberpunk footage. Did you guys watch the footage?
I did not.
I
I'm
think
not interested in this game anymore.
some of the stuff they showed is pretty cool. I think some of the stuff they showed was not as cool. Basically, I'll put it this way. They showed off a bunch of scenes, all from the prologue. They specifically state everything you've seen so far from the game is from the prologue, which is pretty cool because that's a lot of stuff. I assumed that stuff was from all over the game. Then they state they're going to show you some unfiltered gameplay. The unfiltered gameplay they show you is a tutorial where you watch through the entirety of the tutorial. And it's a tutorial on their new, like, mental thing where you can enter a dead person's memory and replay the moments before their death, and then you can leave their body and move things in the environment to be able to get information. Very strange, kind of cool.
Yeah.
But that also made the entire show just about that tutorial. And it was like, okay, sure. Yeah.
I think I'm looking at the wrong.
But I want to watch. I want to watch a tutorial.
So I don't think showing that stuff is bad, but I don't think they should have just showed the entire tutorial for it to the point where literally the person teaching you the stuff is like, all right, I think that's enough. I think you got it figured out. You can come out of it now. And that's when it cuts. It's like, no, you watched the entire tutorial. You're going to have to sit through that entire tutorial again when you play the game.
I can't tell if I'm watching the right stuff. Is it a 20-minute video?
Pretty close to it. I think it might have been a little bit longer, but yeah, I'm sure it's because they don't want to spoil anything. But like, just don't show the whole thing at that point. Like, show clips of it while you talk over it. You know, that's just
Yeah,
me.
because all of these say like 20 minutes of raw footage.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't think there's any reason to hype this game up anymore. Like, why do these at all?
Yeah.
Like, people are already excited enough for the game. You don't have to do these. And like
I'm
the
turned
times
off to the
where
game.
I am curious as to why. Let me hit on this real quick though. The times where it's just the devs talking about the game, I tripped over that really bad, but the devs talking about the game was actually really good. They were discussing like quests and how the quests work in the game, and that was really cool. So Pat, why are you turned off from it?
It's doing the same thing that Red Dead Redemption 2 did.
Okay.
What's that?
Where everyone gets super hype and they start talking about how great it's going to be. And I don't want to go into this with that same expectation.
So are you
And-
turned off or are you just not hyped?
Maybe not hyped, I don't know if I even want to get the game though. I'm also just not. I was interested before, and now I've been. From what I just watched, it kind of just looks like Fallout in a way.
I don't see that comparison at all, Patrick.
Maybe I'm looking at weird clips of footage.
Are you looking at the stuff that's in the wasteland outside the city?
Well, I'm not talking about like the way the game looks, the way the game looked like it felt, if that makes sense.
I think that's just because it's first person. I think you're looking at that and pulling that away because it's in first person.
Maybe.
Whereas
I'm not sure.
it's got a very different combat system to Fallout. It doesn't have like slowdown at all in the way that VATS works or anything like that. And from
Okay.
what I can tell, the quests are going to be entirely different.
I'll definitely wait for reviews before I get excited.
Sure.
I don't know. I also just I'm not very interested in the game. And it might be also part of the problem is what's happened to me this year. Like
Sure.
I don't feel excited for new games
Well,
right now.
There are reasons not to be excited for it too. The first one being like it's been pushed back so much. The dev team has been forced to crunch even more every time it's been pushed back to be able to get it done.
Yeah.
Like there are definite reasons to be like, I don't know if I care. I would just say to wait and see actual gameplay for yourself. Because again, as Jen put it, the reviews are going to be super biased. I'm not going to say it's going to be a Last of Us Part 2 again, but it very well could be. Because this game has been hyped up so much over the last 4 years that a world where it's not good is impossible to imagine, even though it is possible, right?
And maybe that's the other part of it is like we just had that happen. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 was hyped up so much, and it literally slapped me in the face.
Yeah.
But games can live up to the hype.
They absolutely can. EDF continues to do that. Yakuza continues to do that.
Yeah.
I hope it's good.
Yakuza 7 is going to be incredible.
I have high expectations for Yakuza 7. But that's because they constantly have proven themselves.
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying that Cyberpunk will be bad. I just don't want I also don't want to be hype anymore.
Sure.
For this. Like I have no desire.
I think it might be a hot take, but I don't think we should be getting hype over games anymore anyway, because we don't know until they come out.
Yeah.
Like Last of Us 2 has unironically killed hype for me.
Yeah.
Because there was no way that game was going to be bad, and then to me, it is extremely bad. Please,
that's what happened to me in Left 4 Dead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I want to say, I'm not really hyped for Cyberpunk either. Like I was super hyped for it, but it's been so long that now I'm like, I know I'll play it. What's the point? Like I wasn't. I was hyped for Last of Us Part 2 as well, but the closer I got, the more I was just like, oh, whatever. I know I'm going to play it no matter what, so whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was about to just agree with you, saying that like I'm turned off to hype. Like I don't want to be hyped for games anymore.
Yeah, I think it sets an unrealistic expectation. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake did that, right? It was hyped to oblivion, and then when it came out and wasn't the best thing that's ever existed in video games ever, people were disappointed. And I think if you go into a game expecting it to just be fine, and then it's good, then you can be excited. Maybe it's even great, and then you can be really excited. But if it's not what you were looking forward to, then you're not as upset by it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2, that really just put a nasty taste in my mouth. And like ever since then, like being hyped for games, like I'll say that I'm hyped, but realistically, it's just like I'm glad the game's coming out.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, all right, it'll come out and I'll play it, or like kind of like Andrew said, I'm gonna play it anyways. So
I think Joel is right. That's why Valve still hasn't done Half-Life 3. They can't ever live up to the expectation that's been set in the internet's minds. It's also why I'm very nervous about this new Paper Mario coming up, because of how easy it is for them to mess them up and how easily they have messed them up before. I'm not going into that with like unrealistic expectations that it's going to save the franchise. I'm instead going, it could be really good. which is what I did with Fire Emblem Three Houses and was floored with how good that game is. It has a lot of problems, but it's still a great game because I went into it going, Fates was terrible. Temper your expectations. And then I was excited.
Yeah, I think hype culture is has really done an injustice
Yeah.
to the casual gamer, like the average gamer.
Sure. Well, and Band brings up Breath of the Wild, which I think is a really interesting one because for a lot of people, Band included, the problem is breakable weapons, which the trailers don't show. You don't know that ahead of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
The trailer doesn't go, and when your weapon breaks, you have to find a new one. You don't find that out until reviews come out right before you purchase the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's tough, you know?
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima is the samurai game that is coming out that Sony is making. That did you guys see this?
No.
Oh my gosh. They showed the menu screen in Japanese where you can play it in Japanese. And they got the names of the menu wrong.
Oh no.
So where it should say new game in written Japanese, it does say new game, but it's written in Japanese as if it was saying new game, as in fresh, hot off the market, never been seen before game, instead of new, as in save file game.
Oh boy.
So I don't know what that means for the fact that you can play the entire game in Japanese, but you know, I'm just saying. So, oh, that is true. The comment section of the Game Awards went off on Andrew because he didn't think that Ghost of Tsushima looked great.
Dude,
It
hype
was-
culture is toxic.
Yeah,
man.
it is because the comment was, "What is wrong with his eyes?" And it's like, well, maybe he.
And they called me a moron.
Yeah, they did. They sure did. People just need to calm down, man.
Imagine putting energy into that.
Yeah,
Like
he doesn't like
made
the
that
way this
decision.
game looks.
I'm gonna sit up and I'm gonna type this message. Moron, your eyes are broken. Man. It's just like, dude, put your energy somewhere else, man. That
who
don't even
cares?
make sense.
Who cares if somebody doesn't think a game looks as good as you do? Why do games have to look good anyway? Some of the best games ever made look terrible.
And I stand by it. I mean, when they first showed it at the Game Awards, it looked stilted and rough.
Yeah, it was very early footage for sure.
Yeah.
But regardless, anybody's allowed to say basically whatever they want in comments. I very rarely delete comments. I will delete some of them though. But you're free to say whatever you want when we react to things. But if we don't like something that you like, understand that we're not going to hold back. Like, we're going to share our opinions. There's a reason the Devolver video is so heavily disliked, the Devolver press conference. And it's because, I'm sorry, I didn't think the jokes were funny. That's subjective. You know?
Yeah. Like Chad's saying, you have an opinion.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
You know what else I have an opinion on? The fact that Crash 4 is going to have microtransactions.
Activision doing it again, baby.
Dude,
So-
why are they ruining this freaking series?
So, I have an update that came out today. And I want to specify this means absolutely nothing. But
Wonderful.
Toys for Bob, the developers, have come out and said, we're seeing confusion about microtransactions in Crash Bandicoot 4 and want to be clear, crystal clear. They put a little diamond emoji. There are no microtransactions, all caps, in Crash 4. As a bonus, the totally tubular skins are included in all digital versions of the game. However, the new Crash racing game, the developers that came out for it said there are no microtransactions in here. And 2 days after release, when the reviews had all been written up, Activision added microtransactions to the game. So as far as Toys for Bob knows, sure, they might not be in there at all right now, but the Microsoft Store listing says includes in-game purchases.
Gosh dang it, dude.
So I'm just saying.
Like, so I watched somebody react to the trailer and they were like, I don't like the way that the new Crash looks.
Okay,
And
sure.
I can see it, but at the same time, I do like the way the new Crash looks because he's more expressive. And then they started saying the same thing, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, there's microtransactions in this game," and it's like that would ruin this series for me.
It depends on how they're done. I don't care if it's just costumes. But if it's not costumes, if it's, hey, you can buy fruit. Hey, you can buy extra lives.
God, dude,
That
microtransactions
would
are the
be
worst.
terrible.
Especially
terrible.
if the game is built around not or the idea that you have to do that, like Dead Space 3. Yeah, it's not great at all.
Why would you put microtransactions in a single player game?
That's
that
the
just doesn't
question,
make sense.
and they
It just
keep
doesn't
doing
make
it.
sense. Doesn't make sense.
Why wouldn't you put microtransactions in a single player?
Yeah, I mean, make more money that way, right?
Make more money. Yeah, make more money. That's all that matters.
Speaking of making money, Microsoft sold Mixer to Facebook Gaming.
Oh, this is bad.
Because when you combine two bad things, it becomes a good thing, right?
Clearly. Guess when the Mixer employees found out?
After it happened.
Yeah.
After it happened. Guess when the Mixer partners found out?
After that.
After that. So, if you were streaming on Mixer, all of a sudden, you don't have a platform anymore. All your followers, you better hope that you made a Twitch link fast enough and you got one day to do a stream where you go, hey, follow me over here. And you better put that all over the screen. Because they won't be able to follow you.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad because I have a friend that streams and Rather Be Drummond, and I still follow him on Twitch. And it sucks because he built his whole entire fan base on Mixer. He was one of the people on Mixer before it was Mixer, when it was still Beam. And
go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say it just sucks for them because those people that were like OGs, because they saw it grow, and they didn't have a part of this problem. You know, the reason that it happened, they didn't help create that.
Yeah.
You know.
Good night, Joel.
And that's
Good
what
night,
sucks.
Cat. Yeah, I think what makes it worse is that Microsoft does this right after finding out, like right after everybody finds out that Mixer was referring to their partners as slaves. And then Microsoft goes, oh, well, we can't be attached to that. Sell them to Facebook Gaming. So, yeah, that's the thing. Not great. Not great. As Joel and Kat are leaving, by the way, just a quick, hey, they're doing the whole new season of the King of the What Now podcast. I'm going to plug it at the end of the show. Episode 2 is live. Episode 3 is live on Patreon. If you're a Patreon supporter, you should check that out. And then they also co-hosted on the Paramecia Fancast on the question of, on a scale of horny, how horny are the One Piece characters? So, I mean, if you want to hear that, you should check out the Paramecia Fancast. Yeah, so we'll move on.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I also do want to. I said his name, but I want to mention it again. Like, Rather Be Drummond still constantly tells people to follow and subscribe to our channel, and I don't do it enough. And I want to make sure that everyone has a chance to support him because he has funny, age-appropriate content.
Yeah.
And I personally enjoy watching him play games. So if you get a chance to, follow him on Twitch, that'd be cool
for sure. I know we've gone for almost 3 hours. We're almost done, folks. There's like 4 things of news left. This is probably the one that's going to take a minute, though. Sony reached out to Vice about their review for The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about
this is pretty scummy. So let me read off what was said here. Because Polygon got the exclusive interview with the reviewer. and it's not great. So basically, Vice put up their review. They weren't too stoked about Last of Us 2. Vice's review, according to the reviewer, Zachney, prompted a Sony representative to reach out on behalf of Naughty Dog. They felt some of the, and this is quoting Zachney, they felt some of the conclusions I reached in my review were unfair and dismissed some meaningful changes or improvements. Then clarified that the exchange wasn't confrontational, but that it was very unusual, as they don't normally have that happen. Zachney says that I was happy to unpack a bit of my reasoning, however, and received a perfectly cordial message in response. Naughty Dog's PR team declined to comment when Polygon asked them about the discussion. So that sounds fine, right? That sounds like clearly they were cordial about it. They were talking about it. I think it is a huge and gross misuse of power when a company reaches out to a reviewer about their review. Because if that company had reached out to that reviewer's boss instead about the review, that reviewer could have been fired. This is super not okay, and makes all of the DMCAs that were going on earlier even more suspect to me. Because how many reviews got pressure like that? How many other reviewers?
Way too many.
We talked at the time about how high those scores were and the implicit, well, Sony's a big company. I need to review it well so I don't get in trouble. It's even past implicit now. It's explicit. Sony is reaching out to reviewers to go, well, I feel like that score wasn't right. Which is not okay. They should not be doing that. And I hope the internet pays attention to this and does something, like not does something in the terms of like boycott, but like just be aware this is happening. Find reviewers that you trust and trust them, because clearly companies are still doing this when they should not be. You guys have any thoughts on this before we move on?
No, it's just, I mean, like you said, it's just the dirty, scummy tactic. And it sucks because I love the majority of Sony's first party output and just see them act this way.
Yeah.
Because somebody like their game. Like,
are they going to do this on Ghost of Tsushima as well?
Yeah. Have they gotten too big in their own head and they realize, oh, well, we're the top dogs right now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna abuse our power.
Yeah. Because that's what it feels like.
Yeah. It makes me want to like have faith in user reviews because of that. But at the same time,
we can't.
I know that you can't because hype culture and the internet exist.
Yeah, for sure. It's a huge shame, but what else can you do?
I mean, it just proves the point that we've been talking about for a long time on the show, which is, you know, being a reviewer is not, it's not what we want it to be.
Yeah.
Because
the whole system's broken.
Yeah, the system's completely broken. It's just not right.
Yeah, and that Ban brings up a great point. When Ban says, I wonder if any of that is what Andrew dealt with the idea of, like, if I say something bad about Ghost of Tsushima, the comment section is going to be mad at me. The comment section is going to say hateful stuff about me. And I know, like, that didn't stop Andrew, because Andrew has integrity and will say what he wants. But that idea is there, right? And then when instead of just the fans, you have the company doing it.
And money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not great at all.
And it comes back to like what you were saying. It's like, hey, well, the PS5's coming out.
Yeah.
No, you want an early copy of that. Like, I know you want an early build of that.
Yeah. No company
you must not want it that bad.
No company should bully employees for reviews. That's not okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can move on. Do you guys remember Crucible?
I actually do, yes.
It came out late May. It was in pretty rough shape when it launched. People have lambasted it for not being finished. It was free to play shooter. People were pretty upset with the state that it was in. It is now unlaunching.
This isn't.
Yep, very insane. It is going back into beta. It's going to
That doesn't
launch
make sense.
a second time.
This doesn't make sense.
So yeah, they basically go like, hey, if you got people that want to be in the Crucible beta, you can encourage them to get the game before tomorrow morning.
Doesn't make any sense.
So, it's very strange. And they're like, you're still welcome to stream or screenshot and clip the game as much as you'd like. And it's like, yeah, because you released.
Yeah.
Oh, it's I've never seen, in all my years in this industry, I've never seen that.
It's a publicity thing. Like, they're going to hope that whenever they get ready to re-release this game, that they can pull more hype and then potentially get a better turnout. But it won't happen.
For
The
sure.
game already came out. And whenever it comes time for the re-release date, they're not going to get reviews. Or if they do, they're going to be like, well, the game came out already. So
Yeah, 100%.
This has me worried about New World. I know Machete Eddie is going to be upset about this. It makes me worried about New World and the quality of that.
Yeah. For sure. Game's now launch, beta, alpha, source code tester.
the game is officially going to source code tester, everyone. It's finally happening.
I know you've been playing it for a year. Oh, you forgot easy or early access, then launch, then beta, then back to alpha, then back to tester.
Actually, nowadays game launch is
Alpha or beta.
early access, alpha, 6 years later, beta, indefinitely.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened. VR is coming to Dreams on July 22nd. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I just threw it on there because they had DreamsCon today.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch any of it, but it's exciting. I will get back into Dreams.
I'm excited for that for sure. It's gonna make recording those episodes when we get back to doing Dreams Day episodes. It's gonna make recording them way harder because I won't be able to see the mouse to click start recording. I'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out. And then 2K21's cover athlete has been announced.
So I want to bring this up for two reasons. One, because I love when they do this. They have multiple cover athletes, and when the person that got it is Damian Lillard, who has deserved it for a long time, and I tweeted about it. Good for him. But the reason I bring this up is because when they did the PlayStation 5 footage, they showed footage of this game on the PlayStation 5. The game comes out in October.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 5 doesn't come out till December? ?
Right.
So my question is, since they said things are going to be backwards compatible, how is that going to work for games that we bought digitally?
Digitally is the easiest way because you'll have the same PSN account. Physically is the question that I have.
So are they? But what I'm asking is that what they're doing? Are they making it where if you bought it digitally,
Some
it
games.
will like some games?
We know for
Not
a
all
fact that
games.
Cyberpunk is. I think that's it that we know about.
Well, because they said the game. So did they say all PS4 games are backwards compatible?
Nope. They didn't
Okay,
say
they just
anything
said
of the
some.
sort.
They just said some.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And since it is the dev decision, guarantee you it won't be 2K.
Well, that's the problem that I have. Is like I want to get the game, but there's a new console coming in.
Streamlabs bot just went after Machete Eddie.
Good.
It's just frustrating because like
a link anyway.
I have a bunch of games that I bought that I have on my PS4, and I really want to be able to play them on the PlayStation 5 because I think it would perform better.
Oh
But
no,
it's like I don't know if it'll be available.
Pat, none of the sports games will, because they're going to do just like they did when PS4 launched. And there's going to be PS4 remakes of those games or remaster of those games that have very little changes at all that are going to be full price.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna be one of those suckers that buys the game twice.
I can't
Yes.
say anything. I own Bastion 7 times.
Yeah, I own Rocket League 5
Yeah,
times.
so Bastion's like art.
Bastion is art. Bastion is one of the best games ever made.
Yeah. So
I'll buy it on launch because I do every year, and I hate myself for it every year. And
yeah,
then
why are you gonna buy it again? You hate it every year now.
it's just because they try to set these high expectations. And this is not people, this is the company. Like they're trying to be like, you know, this is gonna be it. And then you play it and you're like, this is garbage. Like this is hot garbage.
Yeah.
Why are you feeding me more garbage? We had plenty of garbage last year. And
Because
everyone told
you
you
keep buying it.
well,
That's
this
why
year
they
was
keep
the worst.
feeding it to you.
Well, how else am I gonna try it out? No, the worst part the worst part
I won't know
is
it's garbage till it's in my mouth.
exactly. The worst part is this is the first time in a while that I can remember where they've legit just been like where big streamers, like people who play this game for a living basically, were like, yeah, I'm not playing this game. Like I'm gonna go back and play 2019 because 2K20 sucks. And that was a big deal. Like there was a lot of people that stopped playing the game. And so that's the other part of me because I'm gonna get it. I like owning sports games. I like being able to play sports games with what few friends I have that play sports games. And so
I'll play a sports game with you. I'll play Pyre.
I still haven't beat that game.
I will.
Hey, well, you got it at the itch.io bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why I'm not. I still. Well, no, I still buy it on release. It's not gonna happen. It won't. Nothing will change. I will buy it on release, and I'll either be really happy or really upset. Nothing will. But I'm not getting hype anymore. Either way, I'm gonna get it, and I just won't be hype. Like I won't be hype about it, and I'll either just be disappointed or whatever. But
all right, you guys got any plugs? I'm gonna plug the Paramecia fan cast. It's a One Piece podcast. I've only seen one episode so far, but I really enjoyed the one that I watched. The episode that Kat and Joel were on. You may have recognized them in the chat earlier. I'll put a link in the description. To that where they ask how horny One Piece characters are, and then Kat retake. Kat and Joel are doing the King of the What Now podcast, which is on season 5, which is the Thriller Bark arc. If you want to hear them talk about that entire arc, you can do so. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. And you can check out their Patreon if you want to get their episodes early. They also do bonus episodes. They have bonus episodes on things such as One Punch Man, Puella Madoka Magica. There's another word I'm missing there. Puella Maggie Madoka Magica, something like that. And Pokemon. So, there's stuff there. I had one more plug, and it just left my mind completely. Oh, if you were streaming on Mixer and you are now on Twitch, put it in the comment section down below, your Twitch link, and I'll put that in the description as well, because I think we should support people that have lost their platform.
Monster Hunter be drumming.
Yeah. Monster Hunter update coming. Then I saw a plug for Don't Starve Together. Any other plugs? You guys got plugs?
I never have plugs, man. I just don't care about anything. That's just who I am.
Rather Be Drumming again, and Mythical Kitchen. Gotta watch Mythical Kitchen. It's worth it. Funny. If you like food, which I know everybody likes food, it's worth watching.
Oh yeah, I guess we should plug Machete Eddie. He's got his own Twitch page now. He's streaming. So make sure shoot me that link and I'll put it in the description, Eddie.
Oh God.
if you want to go check him out, he streamed one time with us, and then he just keeps streaming weird random games.
With other people now,
Yeah. That never
I even said I would play Path
anymore.
of Exile with him, but
Yeah. He's playing
he's
Torchlight 3. There you go.
3? Wow,
There
what
you
an
go.
idiot. I mean, still alive?
Yes, we're still alive. I like the way Torchlight 3 looks. Anything else we might have forgot? Oh, there's the link. Streamlabs gonna get it for it too.
Streamlabs like, no.
I meant shoot it to me on Discord, but sure, that works. Machete Eddie, are you gonna put those on a VOD on YouTube so people can catch them later if they don't have time?
He said no.
Anyway, we've been the Full Spectrum Podcast. I've been Trey.
I'm Andrew.
And Patrick.
We've been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy I forgot to do the schedule for the week. Tomorrow will be more Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost on beta. Thursday will be my ranking of Precure OPs. And then Friday will be more Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost on beta. That game will continue to just take up the schedule until we've covered every suit in that game once it's fully out. But until next time, remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that life has to offer.